suffer present the country, you're not personally good or very, maybe we tend to be proud in. You know, you love me, everything is a hard weight. When I say I was going to see a mind, but you cannot be in the policy. You know, it will love me when they want to say that left or to take out the prayer to use your prayer was then put the video of speech. Video of speech, so believe that that's the way. Video of speech, they think school here, or program, they are the number of freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, I have to believe that that's the way. When you already speak, you know that the view of
okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's welcome CEO and Dr. Richardson. Good evening.
I'm not even seeing clearly. Something wrong with my eye. What's going on?
Well, what?
I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Yeah. Do. Dr. Richardson, I can see all the obstacles in my way. Hey. I can see clearly, Dr. Richardson. But listen. How you doing, Dr. Richardson? Rosemary McCaver, how you doing, Mama? You all right?
I'm fine, thank you, CEO.
Today to do a great show, ladies and gentlemen. They call the name Nobi Simo. Nobi Simo is in the house. But I'm not happy today coming on the show, Rosemary. I'm not happy. I'm not.
What's wrong?
Rosemary, I'm not happy.
What's wrong?
I tell you what, we got Dr. Richardson. I'm very, very concerned. What's going on with CMC, Sando Johnson? 3 days now we've been having this conversation. Is he a United partisan or is he a Wait, Dr. Richardson, let me do my intro, Mama. I know, listen, for 28 years you've been in one position. You know what flip-flop, you know what change, you know it's against, you got to give a certain, my zone when you want to work for another college. Or else, the college you're working at, the university will sue you. You cannot work within certain terrain. You know that. We got politicians today flip-flopping, Rosemary, jumping from party to party. They're not working in the office of the president, Joseph Yumabwaga. Rose, they're a CMC member. What kind of witchcraft is that? What kind of trouble be that?
So still only inter-party members should work in inter-party government? I'm confused.
Dr. Richardson, you will tell your own. Let me tell my own. You want to go fight, I will be quiet because you can't convince me today. You want to go first, Dr. Richardson, I will be quiet. You want to go first?
I was just asking a question. I told you myself I'm having a dialogue. I was going to ask you, only inter-party members can work in inter-party government?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. So I'm going to go ahead, huh? I think that Richardson, I think you're about to destroy CMC. I will attack you today.
Okay.
I think that Richardson, you're about to. No.
Let me just use psychology now. Do you just see how Senna just flip? You know, Richardson personally attacking me. Okay?
No, Richardson.
because I asked you a poignant question, you just flip on me. Okay? So use me now. Tell me that I'm trying to destroy CMC.
No, Richardson.
Okay, why do I want to destroy CMC?
I will answer you, Dr. Richardson. You cannot and you shouldn't. Let me find something to clean my camera here. Because I want to look in your face clearly. Very clearly. You should not, you shouldn't, you cannot, you can't. Whatever you're going to make that sentence to be. You get Sando Johnson. And Rose, you are free to talk. You don't want to Liberia journalist, then I can be quiet. Don't never be quiet. Don't take that. Let me put you in the air. 1 2 tier 1 2 because it's here.
I'm ready to do.
Let me put you in there.
The man already get warning.
Let me put 1 2 tier 1 2 because it's here. Hearing part is too big. So let me put it. When I wake up in the morning and look at my phone, right? A lot of messages. I was surprised when I heard it here about 120 and Rosemary. I said I respect Rosemary that my staff. You know, let's discuss on the issue. You're a good man. I mean, you're a very good man. You're single anyway. God bless you guys.
Good man today. I don't fight. You respect Rosemary.
I respect what I see. You're going to Liberia pretty soon. What I understand you why the case. I know you're joking. No want to let go ahead. We got sure to do, my people. We got sure to do.
See, I don't know what kind of conspiracy theory on you today.
I'm talking about women are talking. You say,
no, this is what makes the show spicy. So go ahead.
I think I would love for you to talk it.
You want me to talk it?
Yeah, because I'm confused.
All right, let me come at TT because this thing is structure-wise. I got to go through the CEO. Let me go Diamond, Slanger, the managing director, and you give me go ahead and talk it. And I bless your matrimony. I do. I seriously bless your matrimony, whatever it may be.
Who matrimony is that now?
Mommy was not getting my elbow.
See you, just told
I do. Anything you want me to do, my contribution, I will contribute. You want me there, I will be there by God's grace. Anything you want me to do, I bless you.
See you, you know I'm in a public relationship.
What you know when you told me last night what you said to me. Leader one. Let's move on. Let's get back on track. Philip, let's get back on track. Philip, but I beg you. Did you want to want to be trying. And to tell you the truth. No, but Rosemary, that was star. She know exactly what happened. I've been refusing a lot of text messages, called. They say, "Oh, I beg you." I say, "Oh man, no. I'm a Christian. I respect people privacy, But I bless the matrimony. I mean, I'm here September 9, which is a good date, by the way. So we'll move.
Not trying to see your general create a situation that have to go explain.
No, it's not situation. I'm here September 9. I'm happy for you guys. But anyway, let's get back on track. I'm going to leave alone. We'll get back on track. But let me say this though. It will be very important that Richard said that this kind of politician the 2029 election let me see you for a bit. We'll be bringing in Councillor Lafiagu as our contributing guest tonight. We'll bring him on. Councillor Lafiagu Senior, the chairman for ANC, not the regular Lafiagu that we get here. No, they're talking about the chairman for ANC. Okay, and I just want you guys to know the councillor I'm talking about is Lafiagu Senior, Lafia Erosions or E something good. Yeah, whatever it is. The men are get a young baby. To distinguish them, yeah. The men are get a young baby. I have to screw, right? What? It just popped in my head. The men are get a young baby. That I cancel. The other guy didn't get a young baby. So I think the people understand what I'm talking about now. Yeah. ANC chairman get a young baby. By the way, a man need one more vote.
You know the whole country listening to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, no, you gotta tell the people the truth. I want to say to all of you though, do you think it's right for Sando Johnson to work in the office of the president and then he's saying that Musa Belete will win election 2029? On a serious note, to be frank, we need to stop this. If you're opposition, you're opposition. If you are in position, you are in position. If you are no position, then you can fly. This thing about our ISO and ISO, let's stop it. Our ISMO so want to and our ISMO so no. There's no ISO. I really want to tell the nation tonight, the young men and women going into 2029, they will not put up for that. No way, hell no. You got to decide who you are. You got to tell the Liberian people exactly what you want. You cannot ISO and ISO. Sando Johnson, Senator Blamah County, hey, snuck in from nowhere and beat him. Everybody said, oh, what happened? He ran again against Alex Tyler. Alex Tyler won him. Everybody concerned. NPP Sando Johnson. Now he's saying he's going to be for Musa Benete. But the last thing we observed and we heard, he was appointed by Joseph Yeman Boakai. Hey, he worked in the office. He's at the executive mansion every day. Can we trust him? Not me, but can CMC trust him? Can Musa trust him? What is going on, Wanto? Okay, let me give you an example quickly, and we'll hear from the guys here. Ladies and gentlemen, share the show. Let me give you a quick example. Wanto, do you think Eugene Lee Nangwe will go to the Unity Party and work in the office of the president? You think
it's not possible, or CDC will not allow that.
Exactly.
100%. Because Eugene worked in the office of the president. He's the chief of staff to President Weah. That would be
okay. So I'll tell Eugene off. Do you think Jefferson Koji will work in the office? Jefferson can work with Joseph Imam Barga today.
Citizen very similar. Can you buy it an example? The people don't.
You have to buy it's not a sedition, so you can say it's an example.
No, I mean just by his lingering, he was expelled from the party.
So you say Jefferson can work with Barga? Is that what you say?
No, honestly, no.
But I'm asking about Jefferson. He said, "Can you know that was sedition to you? Can you go on? It's not a sedition."
He gone. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're right. CDC would never allow very strong partisan to play that dual role. Either the party.
I don't know whether the people believe in Dazo. And to be frank, it's 908 in the country. We'll be bringing the ANC chairman shortly, and also we'll be calling Snow here that he's in Texas or Houston, Texas. He's doing something beautiful that we'll be calling when he's available. But it's very, very important for us to know today, Dr. Richardson. Mark Blaron did it. You put out a statement. You guys are cherry picking the party.
We're not.
Yeah, you put out a statement on Mark Blaron.
What did the statement say?
You got the statement. And now we got Sando Johnson. He was at the executive mansion this morning, and you telling me that is okay. No, it's not. Is he carrying information to Unity Party for CMC Wanto? Or is he taking information from Unity Party to CMC? Is he the new political spy?
CEO, you're right. It's very risky. It's very risky. I think, CMC have to ask very honest questions. And I for this argument, I support you fully, because working in the office of the president and being a very key confidant of the standard bearer of CMC raised a lot of questions. And I'll be honest with you, he has a very close relationship with the standard bearer. And as much as he issued a statement to say, yes, that's a legitimate right to work with the president, the party has to determine at what length does it impact the party's stability, the future of the party, the trust, because he's around the standard bearer of the party. What kind of information is he providing to the government? What kind of information is he taking from the government? So it's two ways. Another area CEO I need to stress more is the Unity Party, whether they will trust an opposition of that nature to be close to the president. I'm not hearing you talking more about that.
No, I don't think Unity Party would be there to worry. Unity Party is happy. Unity Party is drinking the milk in this thing.
Why?
Unity Party paying Sando Johnson.
Yes.
Musa Benete just came out and said the party worth $35 million. Didn't you see that? Can they take 2005 and pay Sando Johnson? In less than a year, CMC is worth $35 million. Where that money coming from? What kind of susum be that? I want to be part of that susum. I want to be part of that susum. How many membership the party have? How can this party say $35 million? Then Dazo is working for $1,400 that is constrained to work in the office of the president, and then he's saying that I will support Musa 2029. Dazo got to speak, or CMC got to put out a statement. I did with Musa Richardson. Let's hear you. I mean, this is a serious issue.
Santa, I will agree with you on the part that if you are sycophant or if you have sycophantic behavior, we should be able to call you out. But I disagree with you that just because Unity Party is in government right now everybody who should work with Unity Party should belong to Unity Party, should be a member of Unity Party. I would definitely agree with you. I would strongly disagree with you. Unity Party is the government of Liberia. People come from all walks of life, and they will be working in the government. Now, only Sando Johnson, who you called yesterday, can answer some of the questions that you are asking. Only him. How come the Unity Party is feeling so comfortable with him working in the mansion, knowing that he's a part of CMC? That is the question. All right, so I cannot answer. I cannot speak for Sando Johnson. I can just tell you that the government of Liberia belongs to all of us, okay? And so people from different political parties will work in the government of Liberia. And somebody said that Sando Johnson is a key confidant of Musa ability. That's how they see it, all right? I trust Musa ability's judgment. I trust his ability to be able to decipher who is making the right decision in the interest of the Liberian people as it comes to developing our people. That's what I do. I trust him. I trust his judgment. So that Rich is saying, and you are telling the Liberian people what Sando Johnson is doing is okay. I'm not telling you, trying to tell the Liberian people that what I'm saying. You. No. Is it okay? But this is how. I'm asking you that Rachel said, is it okay? But can I speak? Maybe if you let me speak, I just clarify myself. And this is how we get in the morning. You say, I'm going to tackle this. I'm going to go after this person. That's I know you so well. I know that what you're trying to do. But okay, what I'm saying to you is that the Liberian government is a government for the people and of the people. So Unity Party, just because Sando Johnson may not be a member of Unity Party or whoever may not be a member of Unity Party, that doesn't mean that they can work for the government. Okay? However, I don't condone sycophantic behavior. Liberia have a tendency to say yes, sir, and to be sycophantic because they belong to a political party. I'm not saying it's a simple question. You are the global chair. Speak to your folks in the global land. Are you saying it's okay what Sando Johnson is doing? It's okay. Are you saying it's okay? I'm asking you. No, I'm asking you this very same question. I'm putting it back on you. Are you saying it's okay? I'm not saying it's okay. Are you saying it's okay for the Unity Party to hire Sando Johnson in the executive mansion? Are you saying it is okay? Are you saying it's okay? I'm asking you. I'm not a member of CMC. I'm saying to you, you are the global chair. You are the number one in the global community. Let me finish, Sister Richardson. I beg you. You are the global chair. I am not. You are number one in the community, in the global land. You are number one. Musa ability listen to you. You get the bank account, you make the final decision, you run the activities in the global land. I said to you, is it okay to have Sando Johnson working in the office of the president and then saying he's supporting Musa ability for 2029? Are you comfortable with that? Is it okay to you? Can I ask you a question, Stanton Weatherspoon? Are you okay with Sando Johnson working in the executive office, knowing that he's a member of CMC party? Is that okay with you? So, Richardson, I think you have to answer the question, because if you do this, then everybody on the live will say that Richardson is joking and she can't answer the question. Well, that's what I was saying. If you need to answer the question, that's fine. What is Musa ability position there? Can you answer your question? You answer my question, I will answer your question. You are the global chair. You are a decision maker in CMC. You're very right about that. I am the global chair of CMC, but I'm asking you, are you okay? Are members of the Unity Party okay with having Sando Johnson every morning, every day goes to the executive mansion and work? Are you okay with that? You're Unity partisan. Don't call me. I'm not a Unity partisan. But you support Joseph Boyka, don't you? You told me earlier you support Joseph Boyka. Okay. Are you, as a supporter of Joseph Boyka, are you okay with having Sando Johnson go to work every day in the mansion, in the executive mansion, and work with Joseph Boyka, and Joseph Boyka actually... I'm not finished. Okay, let me add up. Let me finish. Let me add somebody on the show. Okay. Are you okay with Sando Johnson going every day? Was appointed by President Joseph Yuma Boka to work in the mansion every day. Are you okay with that?
Can I answer now?
Yes, answer.
Okay. I will only answer because our fans on the show saying, and I will say this to them. I know you guys don't want me to answer. Let this person say, that's question for you, Dr. Richardson, not the CEO. Another person saying, Dr. Richardson, you are wrong, right? Another person saying, and I can put them up, but I will not put all of them up. So let me
it's okay.
Let me answer your question.
I have to dance.
Let me answer your question.
Let me address the part where you're trying to get the audience.
Let me answer your question.
No. Let me address the part where you're trying to get the audience to go against a panelist on the show. It's okay for them to disagree with me. I believe in democracy so much that it's okay that they don't agree with me. Helena Flowers can say whatever she wants to say, whoever you highlighted before can say whatever you want to say. But this is how I feel, and I will ask you this very same question, and you ask me. So it's okay.
Okay. So let me answer the question. And I hope you can answer my question when I answer your question.
Well,
Dr. George, welcome to the show. Dr. George, welcome to the show. Dr. Fubi, welcome to the show. Dr. Wanto, welcome to the show. Dr. Rosemary, welcome to the show. We're going to have a good show. Let me answer your question. As a supporter of Joseph Yuma Barker, it's okay that Joseph Yuma Barker used Sando Johnson, hire him, because he has pledged his support privately to Joseph Yuma Barker. It's okay that the women have gone across the aisle to bring in non-unity partisans. It's okay.
You're so smart.
It's okay that the old men can have a government of national unity, integrate all people from CDC, ANC, CMC, and everybody. That's what the leaders should do. And I'm so proud of Joseph Yuma Barker for doing this. So now I have answered your question. Do you think it's okay?
Yes.
For that sort of work of unity party president?
It's okay that we can have a Liberian government that will accept and hire anyone who belongs to another political party. Yes, it's okay. Since it's okay with you for Dasso Joseph Johnson, whatever his name is, Sando Johnson, to be working in the mansion and appointed by President Joseph Boakai, it is okay with me that the Liberian government can hire people from other political parties because in diversity we find strength.
Thank you, Dad. Thank you for appreciating Joseph Barker's effort of having a government of national unity.
Thank you for appreciating the fact that.
Thank you for having for celebrating. Thank you for celebrating a great leader like Joseph Yuma Barker, Dr. Richardson. But the people will decide. Dr. George, Mr. Aaron Fubi, the people will decide. I think that Sando Johnson got to resign. You cannot serve two masters at the same time. But I will leave it there because we got more to discuss. Dr. George, welcome to the show. We still get your party chairman coming on. Councilor Gu will be here to discuss issue of national concern. And Heron Fubi, we get your former chairman from ANC party coming on. We'll discuss issue. We're going to talk about the Samuel Tweh story. And I will not forget this thing. CMC got to take a position. Something is happening. I don't want to say it because the document not to say it on the Sando Dazzle thing. And I would say one day if I have eaten potatoes green, then I would have said something. But say I didn't eat potatoes green today, I will wait. Emmanuel George, welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Stanton, and good evening to you. Good evening, Dr. Richardson. Good evening, Madam Akiva. Good evening, Wanto. Good evening, Fubi Henry. Good to see you guys. I want to thank our audience, those of you on Facebook, YouTube, listening to us on television, different various radio stations in Liberia. Good evening. I hope you all had a wonderful day. Good to be on the show, Stanton. I look forward to the conversation. I know you all are discussing Senator Dasso Johnson, member of the CMC, which he said emphatically last night when he was on the show. let us remember he also shared that before he became a member of the CMC, he was appointed as the legislative liaison by President Joseph Iman Boyka. On May 1st, 2025. So the president appointed him. The president had faith in him. The president knew that he played a role in the success of the United Party in the 2023 election, and he was being paid. I think it's Vendela Patrick that always said that political payment is not in heaven, it's here on earth. So he supported President Boyka, and President Boyka found it necessary to find a place for him in his government. But he have openly said he's part of the CMC. So it's left with President Boyka if he's comfortable with him working around him, and it's left with the CMC if they are comfortable with him around them. But he have openly said he's a member of that until 2029. Maybe that's the only place that we can call him to ask him to clarify what he means by 2029, whether it's January 2029 or June 2029 that he's going to stop his support. But again, the biggest employer in the Republic of Liberia is the government of the Republic of Liberia, and many people who find themselves having some.
I see you trying to find a fine tune here. You're trying to play it safe here. So you're okay, right? That he's working with Unity Party government, but yet still he openly said he's supporting Musa Belete. You're okay. There's no problem.
Stanton. The president of the Republic of Liberia appointed Senator Johnson on May 1st, 2025 to a liaison position. The president comfortable with him. In August of August this year or sometime.
No, this is a simple question. So you're okay, right?
I'm answering a simple question.
Yeah, but you make an answer too long, the people go to bed. Answer before that old man go to bed.
No worries, right? They're going to bed on there after I finish answering. So in 2026, Senator Johnson openly declared that he's a member of the CMC. He held a CMC program in Bobby County. The CSE got problem with him. If the president got problem with him, the CSE got problem with him. Whoever had to get problem with him.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Fubi, what's going on? Brother, it will not work, Fubi. I understand you don't have problem with him, but it's something I'm thinking here, Fubi, right? Musa is not paying Sando Johnson. It's all about the Benjamin. It's all about the money. Fubi, look online today. My brother and friend Musa Hassan Belete, and I'm trying to fight this guy. Everything in me, I'm trying to find something on this guy to find him. Right, Fubi? But just imagine, he said he worth the party, not him, because on his asset declaration, he worth $32 million personally, Musa. But now the party is 35 million. As declared by Musa, the party having 35 million in the bank. What kind of juju be that one? The party in less than 1 year get $35 million in the bank. Fubi, why not they pay Sando Johnson and you shouldn't work for Unity Party, Fubi?
Yeah, so good evening, everybody. How are you doing? So it's good that you see you're trying to post saying Sando Johnson or Gary. You keep finding all kind of things. Sando Johnson key yesterday, I even gave reason. You still looking for say, you want Popo Beach, Nukutown Beach, Sinko Beach. All the BJ looking for Senator.
I'm not saying you'll be running to be the next senator of Blamah County. Are you running on a CMC ticket or you'll be running on a Unity Party ticket? Because Unity Party paying you. Unity Party paying you. What's the real story here? Someone doesn't got to resign. He has to resign. I do believe that he has to, right? As a seasoned politician, you don't issue in politics. It will destroy him alive. That's my advice to you. It will destroy him.
Let's start on doesn't be great. I don't think CMC ready to pay Sando Johnson $5,000 per month right now. So if they're not ready to pay that amount, let the man do the late hustle and collect his store until 2029. The man said he's supporting CMC until 2029. He will go for Musa 2029. So the man has given a commitment. So if the president feels satisfied and comfortable working with him, that's the president's prerogative. I think we'll lead the president to enjoy that. But at this stage, politics, you gotta find a way to balance out, and you gotta find a way to survive. So not just a politician, he ain't got any other career that I know of. So you gotta survive some kind of way. So if the government is open to allow him to work,
so let me hold you right there and let's move on. Welcome to the show, Councilor Good. It's good to have you on. We'll bring you on shortly. Don't get in this one. I don't want to put you in a situation you can handle. My brother Fubi said the man got to survive. I couldn't agree. I was senator then served for 6, 12, 18 years. The state talking about survivability, couldn't agree? Couldn't agree? Is that what we have come to? Lawmakers are supposed to work and help the district and the county and lay back after leaving office to say, yes, I have this thing going for me. But we're talking about surviving here, couldn't agree? That's why you got to go back and hustle. Look at Kazoo. The man begged for job, Look at Clarence Massacre to LTA. Look at how you call it? The other commissioner at LTA. Look at these guys there. Representative, senator, but they come in to beg for job. And Fubi want to tell me that somebody like Dazo stay hanging on to survive. Hey, Conor, let me know where we got to go, my man. Just take it away.
Stanton, thanks. Thank you, fellow panelists. Madam, how are you today? Good. Stanton, there's a culture in Liberia. People are not driven towards accomplishment. They're driven towards, making sure that they meet the requirement of their bellies. How can you be a liaison and then hold on to another job? How effective would you be? Matter of fact, he's been there since what, May? I want him to cap some of his accomplishments. Daza will tell you nothing. He's another paycheck collector. And that is why the country, the level of productivity is so low, because people are not driven about their accomplishment. They'll point you to a piece of job. What are some of your own ambitions that you accomplish by the time you are taken from the job? Dazzle doesn't seem to have a single white paper that you can tell you these are my accomplishments. And that's how it is across the country. They point somebody as boss for some agency. They don't care what are some of their accomplishments. How can you serve Musa effectively, or the CMC, which is his right, and then at the same time serve to become liaison? What has he accomplished? Give somebody the job that will be able to produce. I think that's a very tedious role in itself, liaison to the House of Legislature, because there's so many things that are coming up there. You can't be in two places at the same time. You're not omnipotent. So be at one place at the same time and serve there well and come out with a set of accomplishment that somebody can put in a dossier and say, yes, this guy did well while he was over there. Well, you're running here and there. So I'm one of those guys. I don't support those kinds of things. I think he's not going to be effective in both areas. Maybe he's over there because he wants to run on that party ticket. Well, serve one. Either you serve that or you go on the other side. But you want to run behind two masters, you're going to lose both because they will go to different directions. You're not going to be able to catch up with one.
And thank you very much. I think it's only fair to say we will stop this fight by faith, leaning on the law and trusting that you cannot serve two masters at the same time. And what we're seeing from Sando Johnson, a lot of politicians in the country, they're going to do those things that 2028, 2029, then they find a stable role. I really want to say this. Sando, that my friend, he's my brother. I spoke to him today and I told him, I said, Dazo, you got to make a decision. I did. I spoke to him today and I told him I was going to discuss it on the show first thing. I told him, I said, you got to make a decision. If you're opposition, you're opposition. You cannot be oppo in. Oppo in. I don't know how you call it. It's wrong, right? But it is why it is. And I think that any plan will uncover that plan. I want to welcome all of you, especially Councillor Lafia E. Orisha Good. I'd like to say quickly, let me put this up. We have Melvin Snow in Houston, Texas, attending one of the CER program, a conference. He got 3 conferences to attend, different set, and all about energy, oil production, and everything. Edwin Melvin Snow is basically traveling with these different assignments. And that's a great thing to know that Edwin Snow here in the United States are getting involved and engaged on an international energy conversation. And we wish him well. So I'll put this one down. We'll call Edwin Snow after Councillor Good, and he will give us update and talk to us, his person in the United States. A great thing is happening, as I heard, but we'll get information from Edwin Snow. I also want to say, now assignment 2 I want to quote today, we discussed that, a big one, man. The government witness can't see anything. They say all the document MIA, everything gone. So they can't say anything further. I don't know. And right now, as we speak, maybe they have adjourned. The block meeting was happening on Zoom concerning Yeka Koluba, whether they will impeach him, whether they will remove him, whether they will suspend him, whether they will kick him out, whatever term you want to use. They were having a serious meeting today that the House of Representatives will be called back to session for this one purpose. They will not be called back about border issue. They are not calling them back to take care of the people's salary that the government of Liberia not paying everybody, but they will be called back only, and they will pay them only to remove Yeke Koruba or to suspend Yeke Koruba. And also, we're talking about the LPRC issue. I promised you yesterday with the document in my possession concerning Amos Tweh. We have a full discussion on, hey, did Amos Tweh eat the money based on those allegations? But I heard today through my investigation, guess what, Fubi? It happened in the CDC government too. They were giving fake receipt. So I put my hand on my head. I said, so Amos Tweh just walk under the same pattern. It happened in CDC. It's happening. There's nothing changed now. Everybody just take the money the wrong way. Hey, I will talk my own and they can talk their own. I want to welcome my dear sister, my dear friend, President Chinua Richardson. I want to welcome Councillor Lafia E. Orosha Good, the doctor, the pastor, Emmanuel George. Welcome to the show. The retired colonel, AFL, at Reverend Gray. It's good to see you. The 2 master's degree holder now on his way to Oxford University, not Oxford, some kind of university. They may come to attend here in America. But again, congratulations to him for his pre-wedding date, September 9. And we'll leave that one. Let's welcome 1 to tier 1 to Jefferson Chesson. We're waiting for you to take your exam for you to be able to represent us. Harris Fubi, stay in Burkina Faso where he doing that only God will know. But we wish you good luck, my brother Harris Fubi. And the former representative to be, because if they suspend you or they remove you, we'll call you former representative Yeke Koruba. It's good to have everybody. Let's give the word now to our brother, our friend, the chairman ANC, Councillor Lafia E. Orosha Good. Councillor, welcome to the show. It's good to see you.
And thank you to your many panelists who have, over the past months and for some years, been contributing immensely to the upliftment of our country. So thank you. I'm excited to be here and very grateful that I have an opportunity on your platform.
It's good to have you on. Like you can see, you know, sitting in the middle of your party global chair and your former party member who is now the global chair of CMC as well. Dr. Richardson and also George. You say what? Councillor? Chairman? Can somebody send Starlink to him? Or that's me? Emmanuel, what happened with your party chairman? Emmanuel George, what happened with your party chairman? You're muted, Emmanuel.
The chairman is Starlink.
Emmanuel, you're muted. What happened to your party chairman?
The chairman is good. He consulting.
He what?
That's Starlink for the member.
Okay.
The chairman is re-collaborating. He will come on.
Oh, but where is Mr. Regroup? You said regroup. Remember the thing about Vandal Patrick. Where is Vandal Patrick? We stopped seeing him.
I didn't say you were regrouping. The chairman is collaborating. He will be back.
Okay, we hope he can come back. Yeke, welcome to the show. Yeke, give us update from your colleague from the House of Representatives, Yeke. We heard today the minority black, some members of the minority black, as of 3:30 p.m. today, you guys were on Zoom call having serious meeting concerning the proposed impeachment or suspension document that people circulating around for signature. Can you give us an update, Yeke?
So, of the minority black, I'm not aware of any meeting. If there were a meeting, I was not a part of the meeting. But what I know is the black is in tight. But I don't think it will be called back. But if we are called back, I purpose, I think I will take all the time to tell the people present or have been made complex from the have been made jobless from the transport ministry. Our people have been taken from homes. You know, those are serious issues. The World Trade Center sent to close that place because they were alleged that somebody played with somebody's documents. You know, your crime is not transferable. You carry the play with the document, not to make everybody, everybody there. Plus issue. Who were
Yeah, what happened with you too? You having technical issue too, okay?
Well, I have a Starlink.
Yeah, but you have the cheaper version of the Starlink, okay?
No problem.
Yeah, you own now. We can. Yeah, you try to get a 650. I heard that the 650 Starlink can work better. If you get a 150, you are like Vandal Patrick. Then when you don't hear him, you get better. He calls you. Then he stop coming on school. So
no, I get it. So at least you can hear me, so it's okay for me.
Okay, we can hear you now. Finish up.
So like I was saying, you know, a lot of people have been made homeless. Those are important situations. You know, we have a serious crisis to the border where our people can go in, into Guinea and come out, you know. And I was talking to one journalist today, you know, he was trying to tell me something. I don't know, he was saying the government is trying to talk to all the media institutions not to talk about this issue, at least after 1 month. That's a normal laboratory. It will die down, you know. I don't know how truthful it is. And I think I will want to ask you to Stanton, if you are part of the media house and the people talking to not to talk about this issue, because it is the right of the Liberian people to be informed, because there is a serious situation.
Yeah, how dare you ask me that question, my brother?
No, I
want to call me and say, don't talk about it.
I want to know.
Yeah, but yeah. Whoever will call me and say, don't talk about it. I mean, you can't. Okay, I understand, but notwithstanding, nobody called me though.
I don't know why you're angry. So people are saying it's us I spoke.
No, I'm not angry. I'm not angry. We're going to discuss the border issue, and that's exactly why Councillor here today, Councillor Gu, we'll discuss the border issue too. I'm not angry. I'm just saying, if anybody know me, I would talk everything and talk more. So nobody can stop us. We must discuss this border issue. But we must be sincere with the Liberian people as to the working of the president, Jose Boakai. Some people would disagree, but we all will understand that President Boakai, at some point, if you don't want war, what do you want? That's a question people need to answer. If you do not, you as an individual say no more war, then what do you want? Because the last result would be war. But you don't want war. So when the old man said diplomacy, then you got to applaud the old man. But let's give it to Councilor Gould. Let's give it to him, because then we can get into the conversation. We got a lot. Tweh issue, Sam Jackson issue, LPRC, the border, and a lot of other stories coming up, popping up every day. Go to the LCC, see some of the report. GSC report is coming up, folks. Don't forget. The other report is bad. What I saw today is bad for the government. GSC is about to spill the beans. It's bad for the government. A lot of misappropriation. I will not say that one. A lot of stealing. Let me say it very simply. Stealing. That's what's happening. But let's bring in Councilor Gould. Councilor, it's good to see you, my friend. I'm sorry that we went off on you. Are you okay now? You are muted, Councilor. Can you unmute?
Hello?
Yes, you're good now. Go ahead, talk to us.
All right. Well, thank you, Liberia, and welcome. Thank you for having me on your show. I had some technical issues. I was hearing you, but apparently you were not hearing me. So I'm glad to be here, and so I can partake in the conversation ongoing. I'm happy to be amongst these distinguished panelists, and I hope I can contribute a thing or two to the discourse tonight.
Yeah, like we say, you're always welcome. Let's do that which is right. Let's talk to the people. Councilor, quickly, let's jump into it. Give us update on the Sam Jackson case, if you don't mind, please. You are the one representing him. Am I correct?
Well, yes. I along with a few other lawyers, my firm was contacted along with, and then an attorney, a lawyer joined us, and then one Councilor Cephas volunteer. So, and the reason I decided to be a part of this is that, we try to be meticulous. When we look at the facts, and we ought to be careful in this country not to be moved by just sentiments, because this thing can happen to anybody. So when we look at the facts and we analyze them, when they placed the call to me initially, I was on my way to Bond County. So I seconded one of our lawyers to represent us there. But when I came back and we looked at the facts and analyzed it, and we determined that there was no way that was possible. And so what we would do, we'll try to accord the gentleman all his rights as guaranteed under our Constitution. And so we agreed to work with him. And what we're finding out now, you will find out that, this was just an unfortunate situation. I don't want to preempt the investigation, but we're quite sure that there were no foul play that took place here. And because, I also stand for justice. The role I play in the political sphere of our country, I have to be meticulous about the engagement I have. But I'm very sure that, this is not one of those things that is being pushed under the carpet. And so we boldly took it. And so I'm very proud of that, because we stand for justice. Eventually, just a matter of time, you will find out that the facts will come out. And I guess Mr. Jackson will be given an opportunity to bury his wife in a decent and dignified manner.
Do we have the death certificate?
Well, the death certificate had been recovered by our team. Today I was in Buchanan, but I've learned that my team secured it. We'll look at it tomorrow and take it from there. Yes, we do.
Do you have the result of the autopsy report that was done by the government?
We don't have that report officially as yet. There's been some whispers about what may have occurred, but we have written a letter to the government, giving a notice of our desire to conduct an independent autopsy as well, because this is the spouse of our client and wanting to know what occurred and what may have triggered her death. The ministry rightfully wrote back in a timely manner, though, and said that because they are investigating now, and there's an ongoing investigation. So they would prefer that we wait until they have done, and then we can proceed. So no big issue there. There are some small issues in the mix of the letter, but we're not going to nitpick on those kind of things. We'll get to the substantive issue and stay focused.
Are you concerned when you saw the death certificate? Are you concerned about any one of these findings?
No, I mean, look, if you look at the prior medical history, I'm not a medical practitioner, but you know, in order to be a lawyer, you have to do a lot of analytical skills. Something you have to be able to analyze fully well. If you look at the prior medical history, you will find out that there seems to be a trend here. I'm not going to preempt what the cause of death is because we're waiting for the pathologist to come up or the medical death examiner, forensic medical death examiner, investigator to come up with something. But you can see from an amateur standpoint that someone who have had prior medical history of seizures and been falling off, you know, and I have a member of my family who occasionally have this and will wound themselves very severely as a result of this as well. So this is not surprising. But again, you know, if you don't have a few of this, it's easier to get into the innuendos that's being spread out by the public and all of the rumors. And then
my last question, and we're bringing the rest of the guys, starting with Dr. Richardson. The cause of death on the death certificate, is it consistent with her medical report? Is that what you're saying? I just want to be clear.
It appears to me that will be consistent. Yes, it appears to me. But again, you know, I don't profess to be a medical practitioner, but in a reasonable layman's view, it appears to be reasonable. I mean, if you
I beg you, Chief, because we have many, but I gotta squeeze this in. What I heard and what I saw, bleeding. And if you look at the medical report, all of the medical report from the United States, Liberia, South Africa, there's nothing about bleeding. So when you say consistent, and if it is true that the cause of death, one of those reasons is bleeding, internal bleeding, you think we should be concerned here?
No. If you bang your head every now and then as a result of a fall that you're having due to epilepsy or something of that sort, then it's possible some of those injuries will occur inward. And if they do, there will be occasional bleeding. And if those bleedings are not, you know, mitigated or attended to on a timely basis, it could trigger your death. So this is not an inconsistency. This is quite normal for that kind of injury if it occurs, and particularly given to the health conditions of our country and the length of time it took for medical care to have been provided. That will explain that. Now, beyond that, if somebody wants to use the conspiracy theory and say that somebody did this.
Okay, Mano Joshua, do something, man. We are not hearing you, Counselor. So, folks, we are on the Sando Jackson, the allegation. Let's see if we get a Counselor back. And Dr. Richardson, you should come in, please.
I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead. Can you complete your answer? Then Dr. Richardson will come in with a question.
So the point I was making is that, you know, there's going to be a lot of conspiracy theories. And this one happened and this one happened. You know, in law, you can even accuse a hamburger if you want, or chicken if you want. The thing is to provide proof. You have to show, without any sentiments of emotion, you have to show that somebody was they were responsible for doing this, and they did this. As a result, this occurred. In the absence of that, all of the other things we're talking will just be speculation. And we're very grateful. You know, I don't think the police they're trying to buy into all of the pressure. What they're after, they're trying to find evidence that will link the client to our client to any wrongdoing. In the absence of that, I don't think anybody, any reasonable person will want to just trump out some charges for the sake of doing it because of public pressure. And so if even we who are defense lawyers, if we saw something that shows otherwise, we will have a conversation with our client. But there hasn't been any that possibly can be none, given the prior medical history.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. Let's stick with the Uncle Sam, you know, what is happening, while we have the time to question his lead lawyer, Councilor Good. Dr. Richardson.
Yeah, hi, Councilor Good. Welcome to the show. I also want to welcome all Liberians who are listening. You know, I've often said that there are two issues on the table for me. One, we have a death of a woman, and then the second one is about intimate personal violence. Those two things, as it relates to women, are troubling to me. And my question to you, in what ways do you think that our legal system could be strengthened as it relates to the death of a woman and also intimate personal violence?
I didn't understand the last portion of the question. In what way? What?
Our legal system, from the police all the way up to the Supreme Court or the court system, could be strengthened as it relates to the death of a woman and interpersonal or intimate personal violence.
Oh, thank you. Look, first and foremost, let me say this. I come from a family, particularly on the Mount side, where I have six sisters and one. I'm the only boy among the six girls. So you will understand where I come from, and representing a political party where more than 60% of our membership are female, you know where I will come from. So I stand on the side of female, particularly the fact that they have been disadvantaged in this country for ages. So I think there's a lot to be done to strengthen what happened to women in this country, particularly domestic violence is an issue. There have been times where a woman will go to the police and say, something happened to me, and say, what you go do in the main room? And they just brush it off as being normal. We don't stand for that. I think it's bad. It appears that we have more laws, enough laws on the book to deal with these things. I think the implementation has been an issue. So I frown on all of that. But in spite of all of that, you know, our ultimate goal is transparent justice here. Irrespective of who the victim is, I think we all should call for justice. And if a man dies, it's just as important as if a woman dies, even though women are considered a weaker vessel because of the long history of indifference towards them. So this is something that we should be concerned about, and I'm also concerned about that. In fact, I champion many female matters as a result of this thing without any fee because of this disparity that exists in our country today. But on this issue, I think the sentiments play out more than the facts led us. I think because of the mouth of Mr. Jackson, people tend to, you know, disliking and push against him more so, you know, and, you know, quite frankly, it was strange that I found myself defending him when in fact he has always been against some of the interests we have. But, you know, as professionals, we have to learn to separate that and keep our country going. So I think we can do a lot more to strengthen the rights of women. I see there are some regulations and legislation that's taking place. We want to champion it. I think they should have more rights. This is something that I think the court system is doing. In fact, this Chief Justice is taking some steps to ensure that that happens in the judiciary. So I'm all for it, Doc.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. I'm going to bring in Yeket. We'll keep Dr. George for last because as his party chairman on this issue. Yeket, we have Councillor Group concerning Sando Jackson. What's your question?
So from the initial stage, I've been saying that honor form that up, that they were not going to find anything because they were being very personal. They got politics. It's very difficult stuff. Look at the he said, with Sando Johnson sleep here, this place, and not somebody living room. You want to sit, you can sit. That's been very aggressive. You can't do that to your police officers are to remain neutral. Because you're serving the public. It is the public money they are using to pay you. It's not Joseph Walker personal money they're using to pay you. So you want to satisfy him. And as long as the police, the security apparatus want to satisfy an individual, this is what we're going to find. They did the same thing with the fire situation to the Capitol building because they want to satisfy an individual. Now, what the case going the way it's going, and those people will be exonerated. No evidence. No evidence. That's poor security thing they're doing so. Partisan police.
I mean, do you agree with Representative Koruba, Councillor Gu? Do you agree with Yeket?
Well, look, Representative Koruba is very verbose. He uses a lot of colorful words. I wouldn't venture into that, characterization of the police. But and as a legal person, I will be very circumspect and tactful on the words that I will use, given the circumstance. But I think there could have been better ways to convey the sentiments expressed by the police initially. But I want to say, though, beyond that point, I think they have exhibited a depth of professionalism. We have no reasons that they will be disingenuous and unprofessional towards their oath of office. At the moment, we're cooperating with them fully. I mean, when chicken white is white, there's nothing else we can do. If the man did it, the facts will show. If he didn't do it, the facts will show. There's nothing else we can do, and that's all we're asking for. If Mr. Jackson did it, I will be the first to say on this network. If as we know that he didn't do such, that's why I'm here. I mean, this is not a popular stance to take at the moment, but we stand for the truth. And sometimes it can be uncomfortable, given the sentiments that has been flowing during the initial stage of this episode. Nevertheless, we believe that the police could have conveyed the sentiments in another way. However, they continue to remain professional, and we want to thank them for that.
Phoebe, let's hear you.
So good evening, Chairman.
Good evening. Good evening. How the District 9 hustle?
District 9, they will sort themselves on already. Yeah, well, it's good that you want to represent. You spoke well, and it's good that you are on the team to represent Uncle Sam. And like I said yesterday, the police, if they don't have the evidence to tie him to whatever allegation that they're talking about, it's better to let him go than to be pushing around, because there are a lot of missteps in the whole procedure in the first place. So everybody should understand that. And the sentiment, the public sentiment that also went around initially, they took everybody, it was like a wave. So now I think the dust is settling. So the real issues now are being discussed. So I think they need to look at it from that point of view. So we're still watching and seeing how the process will unfold.
Wanto, you got a question on this?
No, see, I think you've asked all of the questions that were imagined to ask. Again, as always, I hope justice take a course in fairness, and also one thing I always say, CEO, is that in as much as I do, I'm not losing faith in the justice system, but I think there is a gap in investigation mechanism in Liberia, and I'm very keen on this that. If you look in a police force right now, CEO, if you go to the police station for a case, they will write your report on a copybook. Any of the police station, even the smaller zones that cross border, they've got them with Jabrin once. In fact, the other one, the police headquarters, they will give you a copybook to write your stuff. In other area nearby, they'll ask you to go buy sheet, and they'll use a sheet to say, oh yeah, what a case, what happened. We have no data, no information, even on past history. Sex trafficking in Liberia don't have a history. It's dangerous, very dangerous in that country. And some of the things that I do think the police should do is to be honest with the lack of mechanism, but they are building a system on not understanding the gap they have, but they are using international methodology to prove that they have, some type of sophistication.
But what concept of who got to do it? I want we're talking about Sando Johnson case. You bring out the international methodology. So let's move to the next person to ask a question.
No,
so,
I
yeah,
got no question with Councilor Go, CEO. I just
no, I understand. I feel your pain, but Councilor Guja, you know.
It's terrible, CEO. So that's my point. But I hope justice goes well, and I appreciate the councilor for coming. I have no questions, but I think there's a lot of things that must change in our sector.
But while the council is but you think Gregory is doing something? At least he's trying, though. Do you think Gregory have transformed or somewhat changed?
No, I'm not criticizing Gregory. Right?
No, I'm asking you a question. Do you think he have tried to bring some discipline and changes to the Liberia National Police to make it a modern police unit? Do you think
that's the modern police unit? I disagree with some of the policy. I think he has brilliant ideas, but it's Gregory challenge. He live in the U.S. He school at one of the best school in the world, Harvard. I think he's constrained to transition the police force with the existing methodology he's seen in the U.S. And that is the challenge there. The challenge is to bring that system, CEO. It requires serious financing. It requires serious kind of.
But then you get it right, because if the government got to be part of it as well. But as Gregory Coleman, do you think he have brought some changes that will help us in the long term at the Liberia National Police?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of professional changes I can point to. I think the police force, I love the kind of respect driven within the force itself. I think officers also are being, highly trained, highly qualified. But I'm speaking more about the investigation mechanism. Like imagine the men who say forensic investigation. CEO, take your own investigation.
So I want to bring in Coconut Gray and Jefferson, and I think you're right to say he have tried to bring in some changes. Now, it's still a work in progress, with the financial constraint and everything. And I'm happy for you you are seeing us out of the block, and to say yes, indeed, he have brought in some changes, and that's a plus for Gregory. I think he can do more, and where he gonna leave out, others can ride on it. And Conor Gray, I think this is a unique thing to even hear from Wanto, that Gregory have brought in some professional changes, and it will go down in history. Conor Gray, before bringing Johnson Chelsea.
Stanton, I don't know if those changes are measurable. I think they are person-centered. If Mr. Coleman were to leave the entity now, what legacy is going to be there for somebody to follow? It's like a car. You don't have to be an engineer to drive it, but there's a legacy of driving a car. If you ask me what my brother Awanto is raising, it's very peculiar with our system. People they're not driven to accomplish, legacy that will live on after. Take for instance, when I think it was Dr. Ford, when he went to labor ministry, what they have there today, where they are going after foreigners to work permit and so on. It was created by that individual. People who have come they're just gone with flow without tide, but they have not made any cosmetic or soluble, tangible changes that people can say, yes, when this person was there, this was what was done. If Mr. Coleman were to leave the entity today, somebody else would bring their own person-centered approach, which is what professionalism is void of. So if you ask me, I don't think he's doing well. Don't get me wrong. But it seems as though he does not have his own personal goal to leave a legacy that others can come and follow or build upon. Why should people still be writing reports? What's wrong with you creating a system with just little or nothing with your contact, especially after going to Harvard, sitting down with some people? Contact your friends and say, look, I want to build a forensic power startup or structure, so that when you leave, they can even name the Coleman Center for Forensic, something like that, that somebody will come and say, when he was there, this was what he left. If you ask me, I'm not seeing any of that, to be frank. And don't say because the system can't afford that, so you can foster that as a personal accomplishment. That's what I don't like about the Liberian system. What are you going to leave when you leave? Because some people say, oh, it's UP police, so it's more partisan. Even though he's trying to avoid himself from there. Yesterday was the other guy who was there.
But I got to interrupt you because we're bringing Johnson, Chelsea, and kind of see Councilor Gu coming back. But let me say this to you, Conofre. It's important that we're going to ask whether it will be good enough after he leaves or whether it's just a one-off thing. But folks are disagreeing with you that he has brought structural changes to the entire.
Somebody should show me.
But when you ask for, you're right, but we are seeing something though. The traffic changes, right? That's something big. The other government can choose to run with it, or the government can choose to stop it. Keke oil industry, it have decreased, and look at the Keke accident have decreased massively. You can talk about all the changes, respect to the Liberia National Police folks. Now we get skirmishes here and there that people complaining about Gregory. It's firing people, he's dismissing people. Now the overall, Gregory can be in trouble because of some other things, but he is so on point when you talk about transforming the Liberia National Police. And that's what I want to say, professional changes.
No. And want to also highlight a specific change.
No, he said professional. He said professional changes. That's what he said.
No, I heard him saying the method of investigation. People are still writing on paper.
We agreed with that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but I agree. I'm not talking about writing on capable. It's financial issue. It's a restraint on money. They can work on that. What I'm saying, want to say professional changes, and everybody heard him, which is very important. If you start with the professional changes, you can ask for more allocation, more money, and you can go through all the zones in the country to help them with more equipment, right? And that's what we are talking about. But your point is,
let me say this one thing and leave you. Hopefully the council can have a question for him. If those changes are indelible, definitely they will not be calling Mr. Gregory Coleman UP Police.
Well, it's politics.
They would say
no.
Let me answer my question.
No. Let me move to Jeff. I beg you, Chief.
Let me ask a question.
You want to ask the councilor your question?
Yes. Let me ask the councilor a question.
Go ahead.
The ultimate goal of every defense counsel is to seek the acquittal of their client. Counsel, tell me why is your client not guilty?
Committing. That's all. The facts don't lead into that. Stanton, would you unmute me?
We can hear you, sir. You are very clear. It's you muted yourself again. Just don't tell, you got to unmute yourself now because you muted yourself. Now you're good. Yeah.
The facts don't lead to him committing any crime. We believe that the evidence available doesn't show that he committed the crime that is being speculated and alleged to have committed. And so that's why we want him exonerated from the investigation. We're not talking about any acquittal here. He hasn't been charged. We're just talking about exoneration from the investigation so that he continue with going to do normal thing when someone gets bereaved in this state is to try to make arrangements and bury your wife. You know, it's unfortunate that all of these happen that will trickle the medical history of his wife. I'm sure some of these things were private that they kept when they were dealing with as a family. Now it has to come out so that somehow we can see the clearer picture of what may have occurred. So it's very unfortunate, but that is why we want him exonerated. It's not because he sent, as I said to you, we all knew on this show that Uncle Sam got a big mouth. If you mind a mouth, you probably want to do a lot worse to him. But we ought to get away from that. This is not a personal issue. You can't pay for a crime that you didn't commit. And this is bad, especially when your wife died. Put yourself in our shoes. If something unfortunate happens to you like that, and while you are in the process of grieving and making arrangements to put your head around all that has happened, and the next thing you got to be defending your life, your character about this. This is quite unfortunate, especially if you didn't do this. Now, if he did that, and the evidence was suggesting that he did that, I mean, I will be joining others to call for the prosecution. We see none of those, absolutely not. And at the end of the day, you will come to the same conclusion that I've come to.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me bring in Jefferson, and we'll go to Dr. George. Welcome to the show, the junior consular group. Welcome. Jeff?
Yeah, Sando, thank you. So 2 things quick. You were talking about the Liberia National Police and as to whether the police has improved on Gregory. Sando, I would think otherwise. Given all the reports on the police, I would think that the police under Gregory has degenerated into a partisan police, where they're not able to provide protection for the very citizens they are paid to protect. You can remember about the shooting and killing of the people in Kenjor. The police went there, shot point blank, and killed unarmed civilians who were merely protesting for their rights. You are aware of the boy that was shot in his home.
So let's move to the counselor. We can have that conversation at the end of the program, though. We asking Counselor a good question.
Yeah, Counselor, I just have one concern about the case. Do you feel comfortable with the report that will be coming out of the autopsy that was conducted without your representative being present during the conduct of the autopsy? Do you have confidence in that report?
Well, we have some concerns, and we're not comfortable with a report that did not involve the parties involved, and so that is why we are opted to do an independent forensic pathologist examination from our side, just to ensure that there's some level of fairness here. But it is what it is. Let's see whether they have a professional duty as well to ensure that the report is fair and transparent. So let's see whether those involved will exhibit and live up to that standard that is imposed upon them. But once you don't have that participation to watch it, so you have some concerns, and so we are uncomfortable. But let them play their hand, and we see. As for now, we have no reason to doubt their professionalism. We'll wait and see what happens.
Just a piggyback of that question, but I mean, it wasn't illegal, right?
No. The state handles investigation as such, but in the interest of transparent justice, and particularly if you're talking about the spouse of an individual, you will want if you're conducting an autopsy on a man's wife who has not been charged, you will want him to have a say and participate in that. You can't just commandeer the body and just want to run an autopsy based on allegations. I think they should have provided the courtesy, and protocol will allow that he would have been represented. That's the decency about this.
But we understand that, Councilor. Let's just take it back. It's not illegal. And you say yes. The rest of it is the courtesy.
To the best of my knowledge, it's not illegal.
Thank you. Let me move to Dr. George quickly, Jeff, please. Thank you, Dr. George. Let's bring you in.
Thank you. Good evening, Chairman. Hope you're doing great this evening.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm wondering, since you have taken over this case, have there been any issues raised by the South African embassy or the South African government concerning their citizen?
Councilor, are you hearing us?
I'm not hearing him. I didn't hear him.
That what happened in
what was your question?
They get each other.
No, they cannot do the ASU.
ASU forget each other. Hey God. Let's pause again. Let's allow the ASU.
How we hear each other when you go or congregate between us?
Oh,
there you.
Okay, so
but our former member there, congregate, you're mad. You got mad.
Oh, yeah, he coming back. He coming back.
I remember that. Don't mind.
He finished getting his return ticket, Chairman. He Dr. Richardson. They definitely no place in there. But
they gotta go to Judah for Dr. Richardson and come back. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
My question, Councillor, is that have the South African government raised any issue with you concerning their citizen? Do you have any information whether the South African government have raised any issue regarding this case?
No, the South African government has been very professional. They, like any interested and responsible country, will be concerned as to what happened to their citizen. They haven't raised any particular question. They just want to follow the facts and then move forward. So they've been very cooperative. They're extremely professional. So there's no issue there. I mean, they will follow the facts and see where the Lord will lead all of us. And so there has been nothing untoward or unusual about their action towards all of this. They're in empathy with the situation. And they're hoping if there's foul play, they'll find out who the perpetrator is. If there's none, they would like to get on with the burial of the citizen and allow the process to take place. So they'll be very cooperative.
Let me ask you a question. Let's do this fast. We'll bring in your cousin, Councilor Gu. But let me say this, though. Have you guys received anything so far now from Gregory Coleman and the Liberia National Police? Or you guys just on a waiting game? You and your client?
Well, I this is not a chicken that I lost his life here. This is not, we're not talking about a dog here. This is human being. So the investigation continues. We're not just playing waiting game, so to speak. We're preparing up for our autopsy. We're preparing for any eventuality. If somebody want to be mischievous and throw up some charges, we're prepared for that as well. But we believe that the police will be professional. They will try to back whatever charge they have with the evidence available to them. And so it's not a waiting game. We're not in much rush per se if our goal is to unearth what the truth is surrounding the death of the lady. We'd like to, I think Mr. Jackson would like to get on with burying his wife, but he's not in much of a hurry so to, cover up anything that may have happened untoward in that respect. And so Therefore, we are cooperating with investigation. They have asked to preserve the body in a way that it will continue to be preserved, and that is it.
Will your client walk?
Well, the evidence suggests that the client will walk. The evidence suggests that the client will walk, but it's left with the investigators based on what they find. I believe the client will walk. Yes, I believe so, because he didn't commit any crime. It's just unfortunate.
Councilor B. Gu, do you have a question for Councilor E. Gu?
No, couldn't off. No, I just have a comment. In criminal investigation, there are two things sometimes to consider when you have a suspect that talks a lot. It's good for the investigator. It's very good. It's a very good suspect for us who have a criminal investigative background. If we have a suspect that talks a lot, it's a very good suspect to us. In fact, we can, we don't even go to wanting to arrest him. We let him keep talking and while we're doing our investigation. I didn't see that happen in this case. I think the too much talking led to him being declared a suspect even before the determination that a crime had been committed, because there's no medical report. So on what basis in the first place, there was no death certificate. On what basis in the first place was a criminal investigation conducted. So I saw it as a little misstep. Also, it's not how loud that a suspect talks that will make a police case to be good. That's the flip side. A police case will be good when you have weighted and cogent evidence. So that's what makes your case. Because now, assuming the suspect decides not to talk at all, you have to carry him to court on the strength of your evidence and not on his silence. Assuming he talks a lot, you have to take him to court on the strength of your evidence and not on what he says, even though what he says sometimes can lead you to building your evidence. So generally, I think that there were little missteps in the process. And when you ask the question, Stanton, about whether the autopsy was illegal, well, you can consider that to be illegal. You can consider it to be irregular. And sometimes it is the issue now about the admissibility of the report into evidence. And it is the court that decides the admissibility of the evidence of that report. The court could decide, because if the person is not represented, we say in law is voidable. It means it can be corrected. You can conduct a second autopsy and allow the defense to be present. So those are things that can be corrected, but the process doesn't make it illegal. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilor. It's good to have you give us some of the story on Uncle Sam Jackson. Is there anything else you want to add? We're about to jump to the next one. The reason why you're here. You want to add anything concerning this case? Councilor Gu? The councilor is holding us in slow motion.
There are two councilor going until I say Igu or B.
Yeah, Councilor Chairman. But we have two chairmen too. We got one for ALP2 and he resigned. All right, so Councilor ANC. The man internet giving problem. But it was kind of strange though. It was kind of strange that they both.
I think he keeps getting calls. That's why.
Like Dr. Richardson, kind of strange that they both ANC members couldn't hear each other. What do you think?
You the one did it. You.
I don't think anything about it.
Okay. Listen, I'm just observing this thing, but I want to ask the counselor when he returned, the bruises on her body, he cared to speak about that, you know, the red eye, the bruises on her chest area, you know, the surgery mark on her head. And he gotta explain, because what we are hearing, if they do call Uncle Sam in, two things happening: a negligent homicide. That's what we are hearing that he will be charged with. Or if they cannot find any supporting evidence to charge Uncle Sam with negligent homicide, then he will walk. So we hope to have the counselor here. But what we do is, Dr. Richardson, let's come and talk about Samuel Tweh. When the counselor come back, we'll go back to him. But something happened today, right? Missing FIA records raised question in Tweh trial. Today. And guys, the Samuel Tweh story is a big one. And everybody's so eager to hear that. What's going on here? I'm kind of confused though. And we'll come to you, Dr. Richardson. Let's go to the lawyer, Councillor Gould, the former ALP chairman, Councillor. I thought as a prosecutor, you should have all your T crossed and your I dotted before you take that witness to court. What actually went wrong? Did you follow the story today, Councillor Gould?
Yeah, I followed the story.
Is this common for the government witness to say that we don't have any document to show? Can you help us? Can you explain this for us?
Well, firstly, let me clarify that I was never a chairman of ALP. I know you're joking. Let me clarify that first.
Yeah, you were chairman for one of the party, my man. But let's hear that.
No, I didn't chair any of them.
All right, you are chairman for the left.
I didn't chair anything.
You were chairman for the left organization. Okay, let's move now. Let's get back to Samuel Tweh issue.
I was not chairman either. But anyway, you know, sometimes in criminal prosecution, you subpoena documents from institutions, right? Sometimes you do it even before doing your investigative, doing the investigation. You can subpoena those documents from the institution. There are other times that you can subpoena them during trial. But it's good if it is a very strong evidence that you're looking for or that you want to use. It's good to have it in your hand before going to court. In all of our trainings, that's what I know, you need to have your strongest evidence with you, because it is the strongest evidence that you take before the grand jury to obtain an indictment. At the era of the ministerial code, where you have preliminary examination, you can just use small, just to prove that crime was committed, and this person has a little, you can see reason to think that the person is linked, so you develop probable cause. But at the grand jury, it's where you carry the strongest pieces of evidence to obtain the indictment. So I don't know the theory, like we said, right? I don't know why they choose to do. I don't know how important those documents that were subpoenaed are to the state case. I can't say it because I don't know. But I think for me, as a prosecutor, I will have my evidence in my hand before I go to to the court, than to think that it's somewhere that I can subpoena it, and when that subpoena is not there, then it brings confusion and a lot of misinterpretation, a lot of public opinion about it, coming to your case. And so it's not a good thing to do. But again, the prosecutors have the strategy. Every prosecutor has his or her strategy in a particular case at a particular time. So maybe that's a strategy that was employed by the team of prosecutors now to have waited for this time to subpoena the records.
And my thing is that let me come in. It's good that we got Councillor Gould back. We got Councillor Gould back. I want us to get to this Samuel Tweh issue as soon as possible. And it's good that we have Councilor Gu here because it's very important for us to have this conversation. Councilor Good, we got to leave the Sam Jackson case. We got to go to the border and the Tweh and other national issue. But quickly, I want you to close on the Sam Jackson case. We saw bruises on the body. It raised a lot of concern, gender concern and other concern. And what is happening today is that, can you just tell us, since you're representing Uncle Sam, are those current bruises, or have your client said anything concerning the bruises on her body, or at the time or prior to?
Many of the things that you spoke to when you were asking your question. So the bruise that is closest to the heart is a result of the effort trying to resuscitate and use a CPR or something to bring her back to life. So it was that pressure employed. That has been verified by the medical practitioners. There were other bruises that for which pictures occurred in the media. They are old pictures. There were some that occur as a result of old injuries, old pictures as well. So nothing consistent with any foul play. All of the injuries or the stitches marked that you've seen, they were all something that can be reasonably explained. There's nothing here that occurred that was sinister. This is just an unfortunate situation where somebody fell. Unfortunately, there weren't many persons around that could provide help at the time. When help came, they went to the hospital. There was little the hospital could do, and as a result, we had a death. And at the end of the day, you will find out all of this. If it was not for the mouth, we probably would not have this situation. As you know, he sits on spoon many times, and you know he speaks his mind, and many times even against.
Are you saying that the government witch hunting, Uncle Sam?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the public sentiments are perhaps against him because he seemed to be a very loud person, and sometimes society have a way of alienating those kind of individuals who speak their mind.
The report was brought in by one Berry, Rufus Berry. What say you? And I believe that the picture was shared by one of their friends, one of Tony's friends out there in Liberia. You know more to this story than I do, but do you believe will the police take Rufus to be a serious whistleblower here? Have you heard anything concerning him?
Well, you have to look at the letter or see what Rufus has said. I don't think it was definitive to say that our client committed any crime here. He had said that in the time past, there were some incidents that occurred that would suggest that the police look further. And if he said that, you know, out of good conscience, that's not my place to say that he wasn't acting good or so forth. It's left with his conscience. But you don't take a criminal case to court based on just that. You need a lot more than just that. In fact, you have to try to corroborate that and then deal with the science. And this is not 1980 or 1975 or 60 police here. We're talking about police in 2026. You have to have a lot more to deal with and to build your case. You know, the police is not just going to throw up charges because the public wants them to do. They will have to be able to prove these things.
Okay, because we got to go. Let me ask you quickly, though. Have you asked your client whether you've ever laid hand on his wife? He ever beat on her?
I've spoken to him before, and he has said to me, look, there's a client attorney privilege here, but, you know, let me just say this for the sake of transparency here. I spoke to him. He said there's been about 3 years ago, there was some incident that occurred where his wife knocked on his head and stuff like that, and in the process of restraining her, there may have been some issues, but they had a very lovely family for the last 3 years, and so and all of this being corroborated. So all the story that this person is being.
So he said that to the police?
Pardon me?
Did he say that to the police?
Of course, of course.
Okay, so he admitted that he hit her before.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the police focus is not whether or not.
No, I just want to establish something, Councillor. We have the former Chief of Staff to Mr. Arizona Cummings, the political advisor. Councillor, eating on our show, sir.
Sorry, I'm not having fruits. Sorry.
Yeah, fruits. Yeah, that should not eat on the spoon talk. The political advisor, I believe one of the political chair or something, Monrovia Kula, is seriously, concerned about the abuse on women. And she seriously, in most of the chat room that we are in, expressing herself, expressing those concerns. You are the ANC chairman. You are representing Sam Jackson. But right on the other side, she have never said to me that Uncle Sam is guilty. She's a seasoned lawyer. Well, she have expressed some serious concern, yeah. And I'm asking you, have Uncle Sam ever said to you that he have laid hands on Tony that caused those bruises?
No. And look, and let me say this. No. And let me say this. Mariah and I, we're on the same team. We stand for the same principles, set of principles. Maybe the way we go about it is probably different, but we espouse to the same set of principles. Nobody wants a person who will be beating on women. That's unfair. It's inhumane. That is not what we want. But we stand for the truth, irrespective of who this truth will benefit. So I'm not just going to get on a train and say everything against women. Also, that feminist approach. We have to be fair here, and I stand for the rights of women. But again, if justice was served that a man will not pay for a crime that he didn't commit, then that's what we should stand for. And that is the approach that we are taking.
It's taking me back now because I have a special relationship with Uncle Sam, but when we come on Spoon Talk, I like to be fair. The causes of the bruises on Tony's body, whether 2 years, 3 years ago, have Uncle Sam ever explained to you the bruises of her body was of what cause?
No, he had said, no, let me say this. Back in 2025, she fell on a plane. She had some bruises. About 30 minutes into on the flight into the U.S., somewhere in the airspace of New York, she fell on the plane and they had to do an emergency landing. The documents are there, very verifiable. Back in Atlanta, she also had a fall, injured herself. He had to call 911. That's also verified. She fell at Royal Hotel.
I don't understand. We got most of the document to that. But lawyer, let me come to. We don't have enough time. The guys want to come on. They're looking at me badly right now. I just want to hold you there. Please allow us to understand from you. The bruises, the red eye, the big one behind her ear, the one on her, all over. You say it's old, but you just said she and Uncle Sam have some issue 2-3 years ago. That led to the bruises on her skin. Did he?
No.
Are you saying all the bruises on her skin is about the fall due to the seizures?
The cut on her head has been explained by the medical procedure that happened the week before she died. All right, that cut on her head. Nobody will injure their wife and then go do surgery on them and do stitches and all of that. So that was a medical procedure that was done.
Let me that. You have a little cut, right? And you have the long one from left to right. Which one are you talking about?
The one in the back was caused by the fall as a result of the seizure.
Okay.
Now, the one on the chest was...
No, not the chest here. Let's come back on the head. The long one. When was that done? The long cut? Was it the operation at the JFK hospital?
Correct.
Correct. Okay, that's what I want us to establish. Let's talk about, did Uncle Sam ever beat on Tony?
Well, look, we asked this question, and he said that you heard him even in the video that they had some altercations where he tried to defend himself, that she was trying to knock him or so. But we didn't go into whether that caused bruises on her or the bruises now. Maybe we can ascertain that. I'm concerned about what led to her death, and that's what I'm restricted to. But we will also find out. But he has said, though, that they have had some altercation in the past, but it was like 3 years ago, and it did not lead to any bruising or any beating or so forth. He mostly was defending himself from a smack of a lady. That's how he termed it. But that is not my principal issue here. I'm more concerned about the logic.
Councillor, thank you very much. I think we can move on. It's only fair to ask these questions. People are concerned. Kev, you're just joining us. You want to wait in quickly for us to move on?
Yeah, let me ask quickly. Let me say hi to everybody. Councillor, when it took the late 22, the doctor, they did a CT scan. On that CT scan, there was 2 images of blood clot, which the doctor said was old due to past fall. And it's something that they brought to your knowledge. Do you know anything about it? Because according to our sources, that after they did the CT scan, they had 2 blood clot that which the doctor ruled out it was an old blood clot from the past. Do you have any knowledge towards that?
Yes, we do. We were informed that the blood clots that were determined, that were seen in the CT scan, were as a result of fall. And in fact, the doctors went in to clear them out and said that the new fall will have to wait because it was critically placed, and they had to wait until a particular medical time before they go into to perform that kind of surgery towards it, because it could wipe away memory and other things because it was close to the brain. So what they did was to neutralize it and stabilize it in a way that it will not be fatal. But going into that procedure, he was informed that it will be a 50-50 chance for his wife. So that was a risk that they had to take during the operation.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Kev. Let's roll. I bet you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
The investigation is ongoing. Let's leave that one small now.
No, yeah, we are going to leave you now because it's very important for us to bring the other topic. I'd like to bring in Sam Johnson, not Sam Johnson, 2 Samuel. I don't know which one is 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel. But let me bring in the 2 Samuel, how you call it, D12. Constantly follow the case. It's very important. I put this up. Most people say that.
First Samuel, you're talking about that.
Okay, so we just spoke about 2 Samuel. Let's talk about 1 Samuel. Here's the issue about Samuel Tweh and his lawyer. Consider missing FIA record raises questions into a trial. People are celebrating that, well, this clearing Samuel Tweh off the hook. Even the government cannot put the story together, and they cannot tell the right story. The witnessing, we have no record. What say you? Let's start from this end. And then I will explain what I heard from the government, because the government says something in support of the witness statement. Well, I mean, is this unusual? Well, what's going on here, Councillor?
Well, look, as you heard from my cousin there, who has some years of prosecutorial practice, if you were going to, and let's just bring this down to a layman's standpoint, if you are going to prosecute a matter, your strongest evidence you want to make sure is in your hand. And so all that will be required for you to unearth all of that, you will do it before you go. Why would you want to wait for a case to subpoena something that could show up or not show up? All that is required from the other party, there's so many legitimate excuses that could be provided for not providing the evidence that you subpoena. One, they could have misplaced it. Two, just several reasons. What do you do if the person misplaced the evidence that you rely on? Then you have a case that is handicapped. That is not as a good strategy. But again, some of those are career prosecutors, and so perhaps they have other ways, that they are trying to get this matter. But I don't see it as a good strategy. I think you should have your evidence before you, and so that you will be able to present your best foot forward to get persecution if you strongly believe that a crime has been committed. So the fact that they will subpoena documents, then how did you derive at even charging when you subpoenaed some documents now? That means your investigation that led up to the charges were inconclusive. That will be the reasonable thought that I will have, that it will be inconclusive, because if you have to wait for some document, what are the analysis on those documents? So how did you derive the charge if you see them so critical? Or did your analysis say that for sure those things happen and you're just waiting to have them so that you will, buttress your case theory? I'm not sure that's a route you want to take. But again, those are career people. I believe they know what they're doing. And let's face it, Stanton, part of this case is all political. So if you can create enough buzz and be able to mesmerize, for lack of a better word, the trial of facts, the jury, in a way, and you can get conviction, then so be it. So maybe that's the card that they are playing. But the danger to that is when it's up at the Honorable Supreme Court, then it's a different barometer that's being used. So all of the sentiments will not play so much at the upper court. It will be scrutinizing the facts and looking.
But I'm going to hold you there, Councillor, because it's very important. Folks in the government watching said, no, the story is not being told exactly the right way, Councillor. Edwin Blamah, who is the current assistant to Mohammed Nassar, the FIA boss, he was on stand today. We are talking about the current office assistant. Councillor, are you with us? I see that you black yourself.
I'm here.
Okay, you just want to take your one piece of fruit. I understand. And what happening is that, and it's good for us to hear this. The government brought him in, Emmanuel George. The government saying the current office assistant told the director or the executive director, whatever his position is, will be the government witness to show whether there's any evidence in FIU relating to the transfer of funds. And the government brought the witness, Councillor Bigu, and the witness says, since I've been there under Joseph Yima Bwaka government to present, I have not seen any evidence of any transaction. There's none. So if the George money we are government transfer money to FIA or FIU, the current FIA saying there is no one paper trail. Who benefits? I want to go back to Orisha, then I will come back to Councillor Bigu, because now it's shifting though. Because we should have something, right? But the government said no. The guys are saying they move the money legitimately, but disappear. So sure, why you took the money? So let's hear you, Councillor Orisha Good, then we go to that Fia Group, we'll bring in Jefferson Chelsea and the rest of the team. Yeah. Now I'm seeing another twist to this story.
So look, you have to understand the context of this case. On the legal side, if you can't prove your allegations, then it will play to the benefit of the defendant. But you have to understand, though, that this has a political twist. If you have set of jurors who believe that the past regime did some ills and they want to correct it, and this is a measure. And the fact that somebody come and say that, oh, we send the money there, and they come back and say we did not see any trace, it actually depends on the way the jurors will assess the fact, because it's your word versus my word. And even the judge will not be able to give it any quantitative value, but the jurors. The jurors will say that we believe this person and we don't believe this person. They are the trial of facts. So that is why you see people are pushing to try the case elsewhere and that, because at the end of the day, it will depend on who the jurors believe. And if the jury believe that the money went there but it disappeared, then Tweh is in trouble. If they believe that the money went there and folks are being disingenuous about it, then they will acquit them. So that is exactly what it is. But legally, if the state come to make allegations and they can't prove, that should play in at the interest of at the benefit of the defendant.
Councilor Gu, let me ask you quick. Let me ask you this: when you guys went to LACC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Folks to LACC, they admitted that yes, the money was transferred to them, right? It was transferred to that department. If they admit that the money transferred to them, how can Samuel Tweh responsible for agency that he transferred the money to, and they admitted that he received the money? So how can Samuel Tweh be?
Well, that is a question. I believe that's a theory that the defense will try to use if that is the case. But again,
it well documented, though. It well documented.
I understand. The prosecution will say, look, that is all a facade. They said they transferred the money, but they took back the money asserting other influences.
How?
And they can show. Listen, I'm not involved in this case. I'm just giving all the sides that people can possibly argue. And they can show that even though they transferred the money, they went after the money. And if the prosecution can show that they went after the money and it was just a phony system set up to siphon money and use the system to defraud it, and they went after the money and they used the money for their personal benefit, and they can show that, of course, then you can have your charges stick. But that is an uphill task for the prosecution. Again, those are career guys. Some of them were trained by late Councilor T.C. Gould. Some of them honor his toothless. Maybe they know what they are doing. And all sides have good people. But it's an uphill battle for the folks to prove. Except that the theory that the defense is using is that they're using the immunity theory. If they stick on that theory, I'm afraid that will be some problems.
Let me Councilor Gould, let me go to or B. Gould Butchers. But listen, you work with the government, you work at the administration. My brother B. Gould. Let's be serious for a second, right? I'm on and off because I'm receiving information, and I will have to say this. The government is not complaining that money didn't go into their account. The government is saying the money left the bank. It went into FIA account. We have the receipt. The total 6-point-something made on the others. But the government is saying there is no paper trail as of today that you can find the money entering and the money leaving the bank. FIA got nothing to show. So when they call the office assistant today And they're asking, there's nothing to show. No documentation of any transfer from where FIA say we put the money in the bank and the money was used for X, Y, and Z. Is that a good, strong argument this government can make? One. My last question here to you, Councilor Bigu. How can now the government bring in Samuel Tweh? If we want to be serious now. If this money is missing from FIA account or any account, how can the government now say Samuel Tweh will bring you in? Can you help us understand here? This is very important. I'm not talking about standing for. I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about Samuel Tweh. Let's take them one at a time.
Okay, so firstly, I guess that the jurors in the case are sequestrated. Yeah, I think they are sequestrated, so at least we can have some discussion. Because if the jurors were outside there, it will be difficult for us to go in depth to discussing certain aspects of the case. But I want to believe that they are sequestrated, even though I'm not sure. But here is the thing. I said the other night, when it comes to the issue of conspiracy doesn't require that you even be on the scene. Just your action that you will take that will lead to the commission of a crime can a reasonable mind can deduce or conclude that you had knowledge of the commission of that crime and you participated by facilitating the commission of that crime. What do I mean? You are the head of Spoon, let's show. There are procedures that you follow, that should be followed for you to pay money to Dr. George. In this situation, you did not follow those procedures and you pay the money to Dr. George. Dr. George admits that he received the money, but that money that you paid to Dr. George, you said that money is going to be used for Kef Hassan, Wanto, and Remy. But then when Dr. George received the money, the prosecution they have evidence that money did not go to Kef Hassan, to Wanto, and to Remy. It actually went to Yeket and Jefferson. And Yeket and Jefferson will be part of the conspiracy to have that money squandered. Other than it going to the three guys down there that we name, it went to the other two persons. So from the start, had you not bypassed the system to pay that money to Dr. George, Yeke and what he need, Jeff Chesson would never have gotten that money. There would have been no way that Yeke and Jeff Chesson would have gotten that money if you, Stanton, had not bypassed the process to pay. So a reasonable person would deduce that you knew you conspired to use the name of Kef Hassan, Wanto, and Gray for you to send that money to Dr. George to give it to Yeke Koluba and Jefferson Chesson. And also maybe the state will have evidence that Jefferson Chesson took that money and brought some to you. So that is the way you can bring in the head of an institution, even to the person who has the authority to expend. But how did they do expenditure? So when you talk about the state talking about bringing in Tweh, they bring in Tweh on the basis of facilitation. They may be bringing on the basis of a conspiracy. And maybe they have evidence that when the money went to FIA, some of that money went back. You know what I'm saying? And that's what
so how important it is now, FIA cannot show any paper trail of this money entering and leaving.
So there's the point. There's the point. The folks from the institution said they received the money, they withdrew the money, and they give the money to the individuals into the national security apparatus that they were told to give the money to. That's what they said.
But there is no current paper trail. And the government representative saying, the prosecutor is saying, we cannot find. They agree that everything CDC government say, everything standing for and saying, but you cannot show us one documentation that you deposited the money, that you withdrew the money, and that the money was given. There's nothing. Whether under National Security Secrecy Act or whether in public, you cannot. We don't have anything. So are they saying from the government?
So are they saying that there's no evidence of the money being?
There is no paper trail entering and leave and exiting. Nothing. No paper trail.
So then how did they know?
Presently.
So no, come in now. So then how? How did they obtain the indictment? If there's no paper trail of money leaving from Finance Ministry to FIA,
no, you're not getting the point. Councillor.
We are talking about the usage. We are talking about the usage of the money. So the question now is,
Councillor, take your time. Hold on. Let me ask my question again, please.
Yeah, ask.
We gotta be very clear. I have all the documents. You should have it. It's in the chat room. That Simon Tweh, the money left from CDL, right, went to FIA under Standard 4, right? Let's remain with Standard 4 here and the FIA. As of present, there is no document at FIA to show the money leaving FIA. There is no trace. There is no document. And that's the reason why when they asked the FIA office assistant today, when he took the stand, he said, we don't have one paper trail to prove that this money that they say came in, went out. We don't have it.
So that's what I'm saying to you. From the way you're answering, from the way you're asking the question, it makes it difficult because I think, I understand, but it makes it difficult for somebody to now believe that something wrong happened when somebody's saying that we got evidence of money coming to us. I thought the issues would be we don't have evidence of who the money was turned over to.
But that's what I'm saying. The evidence that the money came to Standard 4, he admitted. He said they received the money. The evidence to who the money went to, they can find it.
But National Security.
I don't understand. But let me we got the best slave. We got the best slave. Yeah, I'll stay with you. Councillor, go, I'll stay with you. We have the statement. We have the statement of Standard 4 that they received the money, Councillor.
Yeah.
But the issue is, as of today, Edwin Blamah said they can find no one document as to who used this money.
Stand on. I can tell you about national security operation. Nobody signed for national security money.
Okay, the good point.
Nobody signed for it. So if that record looking for somebody to sign, forget it. The state will have to prove that money, when it left Standard 4, it remained with Standard 4. He did not give the National Security Council. He ate it for somebody they got to prove it.
Okay,
or he gave the money to somebody else. They got to prove it. But nobody signed for national security money anywhere.
And I agree with you, and now that's why we have the conversation. Let me bring in Emmanuel George before we go to Yeke. Jeff, you're coming, be patient. Emmanuel George, this is a very sticky way now. The government left finance ministry, the government left central bank. They have established at this point with Standard 4. Standard 4, there's no evidence when he left FIA. He didn't leave any document by as to how the money left FIA. Is this the testify this on our own? Who's benefiting from this testimony that was heard today, Emmanuel George?
I think both sides can claim victory in the testimony. First, the government can now go on its part. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm so blessed tonight. I'm between two lawyers, and so maybe they will rub some of the legal mind on me. But from the outlook from common observation and using a level of logic here is that one, on the prosecution side, is the fact that the Liberian people now have an understanding that is 1 billion Liberian dollar and $500,000 got to the FIU was received by the Director General of the FIU, and the money went into thin air. There's no trace. There's no trail. Everything stopped at the at the receipt of the money. What happened after that is in the mind of the Director General of the FIU who received that money. So the government now have opened a situation where we, the members of the public, are saying in our mind that, wow, how can $500,000 disappear into thin air? What happened? Who were those?
It's 6.5 million, brother, not 500,000.
Okay, well, that, yeah, 1.5 billion Liberian dollars and 500,000 US dollars. Thank you. But on the other hand, they claim that, as Councillor Goose spoke to, they claim that this was security matters, and because it was security matter, we don't want to threaten the source of information and the type of work we were doing. So therefore, we do not have paper trail on this. Could be in the interest of the defense, but the defense will have to make a case in that interest to show that there are evidence, there are other instances where monies of this nature were passed on and there was no record towards that. They will have to prove that to court. And that's the reason why I said from day one, I'm extremely interested in this case, because it's a national security case. I'm extremely interested in seeing how much the government is willing for these national security operators to speak in the court of public opinion, in the court for the public to know what level of what issues that they are addressing and what they are doing with our money. That's why I said last week when it came out that this case may end up going closed door. The judge may have to be given security clearance, and the jury may be sworn to secrecy, because right now where we are, we have 500,000 US dollars and 1.something billion Liberian dollars that has no paper trail after it was received by the FIU. And to prove their point, they may have to share some secrets that cannot be shared in the public. But it's alarming, it's disheartening, it's tough for those of us who are citizens of Liberia to know that money can just disappear or no paper trail. You know? And
that's the big one. There's nothing to show. You left office and there's no a statement, nothing, no receipt, no documentation in the office. At FIA, FIU, they are the same. But I mean, good concern. Yeah. Before we bring in Jefferson Chelsea. Yeah, this is a serious issue, though.
Tento, let me say to everybody on the show, let me restate what I said before. This case will be used as a precedent case for the final minister now to be free when he leaves office. Stanton, you don't understand what's going on. Everything they're doing, they're guarding the process. Because everything Tweh did that they're holding him for, the final minister and the government doing it right now. Worse than ever before. So what they are doing is to find a rule, how they will leave the investigation, how the court will exonerate them, how the court will free them. That's the way they are finding. That's the investigation they are on. And I think in my mind, Samuel Tweh will be released. Because this is a case, it will be a precedent case that people may reference to. That the final minister now and other people may reference to. They said during this time, this is what happened. Because the same thing is going on right now on the job security and intelligence business in the local situation. Stato. Magma war. It will say, Yeke said it. These people are setting the basis on how they'll be released when they leave office. Stato. Tweh will be released. They don't know what they're doing.
Thank you, Yeke. Jeff, let's hear you. We'll go back to Russia Group from Colonel Greg, Kev, and I want to. Jeff,
so, thank you, Stanton. First thing, Stanton, as I've always said on the show, that this case is politically motivated and they have no evidence and they are fishing for evidence. But first of all, let's distinguish between finance ministry and FIU. Finance ministry is a disbursing entity. They're not spending entity. They disburse the money. They're there to oversee the expenditure of the budget. They disburse the money to the spending agency. And each spending agency has its own fiduciary responsibility. They are responsible to ensure how money are spent at their level, and they should be accounted for. So if the head entity did not follow procedures of withdrawing and spending the money, how can you hold the finance minister responsible for that? I mean, how possible is that? So first thing, you should be seeking to find out as to whether the money was legitimately disbursed from the finance ministry. I expect by now there will be subpoenaing documents from the finance ministry to ascertain as to whether this money was legally disbursed according to government policies and laws. If that was done, then at the level of the finance minister, his side is clear. Now you go now to the FIU and start to find out as to whether the FIU spent that money or withdrew the money under the laws governing the FIU. But you cannot hold Samuel Tweh for what went wrong at FIU, because for all the statement we've read here, everybody said the money was disbursed. Everybody said Central Bank released the money to the FIU. But the problem is at the level of the FIU, then you're holding the
Let me ask you though, you got Councilor Bigu saying that it's conspiracy.
Well,
they're not holding that you hit the money directly. They are connecting him. It's to connect the dot here. So talk to us about
it's the responsibility of the prosecution to prove that conspiracy. It's their responsibility. And if they cannot prove that conspiracy, trust me, they cannot tie down Samuel Tweh. And this is
we know that's a responsibility. So give me your best argument. Now we know that it is up to them to prove it. That's why they are connecting the dot. Samuel Tweh sent the money to FIA. FIA sent it for receive the money. Send it for put the money in this bank account that they cannot find. Send it for spend this money that have no trail. There is no turnover note about this money. There is nothing you can find at FIA as of today that the money was taken out of the bank, was spent whether in national security or whatsoever. The problem is that they are making the argument somebody work with somebody outside of FIA and it's stole the money. So make your better argument now for Samuel Tweh.
So two things here, Stanton. FIU did not deny receiving the money. The prosecution will have to prove their conspiracy theory that Samuel Tweh could not somewhere behind the scene to collect the money from FIU, and that they haven't been able to prove yet. Two, if I was the prosecution in this case, I would start going after the FIU instead of going after the finance minister, because it's the FIU that cannot account for the money and not the finance minister. Not the finance minister.
Okay, thank
you. And not the finance minister.
Let me bring in Councilor Go before we bring Kev back here. It's very important for us to stick to this, Councilor Go, because what we are seeing is that they are taking little baby steps. They first of all establishing the money that went to FIA. There is no account, no documentation. The money disappeared in thin air. If they can establish that, then they're going to bring all the folks that have conspired together, and that was a good case Councilor B who made. Then they're going to have a conspiracy charges, whether Samuel Tweh standing for or other individual. Do you think that's a smart move from the prosecutor yet?
Let's be fair here. We're talking $5 million+ here. It can't just disappear in thin air. So the prosecution is saying that they're charging them for individually, and jointly and severally, and so therefore they're also charging for conspiracy, the theft, and all of that. So they say that there was a network of a coordinated effort to siphon money from government covers using CEDO's account and phony means to consume the money and misappropriate them for their own personal use. So Bear in mind that they also charge the former, I'm told, that they also charge the former head of the FIA along with the controller. Now, for Christ's sake, if you are using money for security purposes, we're not asking you to say what you're using it for, but there will be some kind of note that, okay, this 5 million here is for security reason. That doesn't say anything, but at least on the records, it says for security reason. But it just disappear and goes to heaven like that. That is suspicious. You don't do security business like that. When we say security money, people don't account for it. You don't provide details for it. But you will acknowledge that you received that money, then you say security operation. At least that's it. And anybody who auditing will see it and say, okay, we can delve into this. But nothing like that. It just disappeared. For Christ's sake, now, that don't have people that do security money. You have to have some kind of trail. It will not show who all receive it. But at least it will say that somebody spent it towards security operation or it was spent. But no paper. Even the people who spend the money, they don't have anything to show to back themselves. So they just walk away and nothing. My friend, that would be a lot of pressure. And we're not talking about $2 here, $3. We're talking millions of dollars.
$6.5 million. Yeah. So let me bring in Kev. I beg you, we got to bring in Asado quickly.
I want to ask one question.
And I beg you, Chief. Hold on 1 minute. Hold on to that question. Kev, let's see you quickly.
Pastor Gu, if anybody in the right mind would believe those guys that you don't have anything, $5 million just go in thin air. Amen. Counselor.
Yeah.
Anybody in the right mind would just wake up in the morning and say, boom, it go. The first thing is,
in the right mind would think so.
The first thing is because this prosecutor don't know what he's doing. He's just saying things. They're just saying things, going code. They're just what they're doing. They're sending the kitchen sink, see if it will stick. Nobody will buy that. Number one, there's paper trail that is leaving the finance ministry. There is paper trail there. Number one. Paper trail number one. Number two, the folks at FIA testify under oath that they received the money. Number two. Number three, the money left the bank. There's paper trail, the money left the bank. Who the money going to? That national security there.
No, Kev, let me hold you. Kev, hold on. Let me ask you.
Man, you flight, my man.
Kev, let me ask you now. Don't say my man. I don't have conversation. No, let me ask you, Kev. This is right. Assembly Tweh authorized this morning to move. There's paper trail that the money left central bank. We got to be sure now which bank you're talking about. And that's why I said, let me hold you. There's paper trail right now where this money is right now. Everybody should understand the money was standing for. Let's put standing for that. The money left Sando Tweh. And I want you to agree with that. The money is at the FIA was standing for. That where the disappearing happened here, that where the boyo, the child, that where they killed the little girl, that where they killed that money, right there. So let's just agree for us to make the people understand. So if this money right now sitting at FIA. Hold on, Cash. The government saying no money to FIA. The government saying no exiting how the money was spent. We find no paper. Let's call the assistant to the director. Assistant to the director, do you have any turnover note, any documentation from FIA? The assistant to the director said no. Now where our problem is right now, Cash.
Okay, Councilor Gu. Hey man, and I know lawyers then, but I never ever go close to that, right? Hey man, who's supposed to be in court in our FIA? What's the matter?
FIA is standing for is in court.
Yeah, when down, that's on. If you establish that Sando Johnson gave the money, we establish the money left from you, right? You give it to Emmanuel George to go get Stentor the money. We established that Councillor Good already get the money. Emmanuel said he testified under oath. He put it up. Yeah, he gave me the money to give it to Stentor. Your own, you clear. Tell me I'm a lawyer. You clear, right? Lawyer and Councillor, they already established that the money left. The theory that the money reversed and come back to the minister, you have to prove it. You have to prove it. Because what proving, the money gone. Why not proving, the money
okay,
come.
we gotta go. We got 3 other individuals that have not spoken yet. And I think that just quickly say this. Everybody is in court. The standing for the Samuel Tweh, all of them in court. We know that. The names are everything appearing.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. No, look at the photos. They always go to court every day.
Yeah, but Samuel Tweh should not be there. Because
no, that's the argument we try to find. Kev. We take the thing small. Councillor B. Good just said it's a conspiracy theory that brings Samuel Tweh in. We got to understand. They are not saying, let's allow our people to understand. You are not a lawyer, I'm not a lawyer. They're not saying if the government can prove conspiracy to Kev, the government have a case here. So let's wait for the government. Let's wait for the government. Let's wait for the government to prove. And that's how the government is proving. The money is our FIA, the money MIA. FIA, MIA. Where is the money? And people are concerned, where is the money? And you're right, Kev. We can hold on standing for everybody from FIA. But the government say no. It's like the RICO cases here in America, Councillor Good. It's like the conspiracy issue right now. It's like the RICO cases here in America. They will charge all of you together. One found guilty, everybody found guilty. One is not guilty, everybody walk. And that's what happening with this Samuel Tweh case. But let's bring in Acid Doe. We'll bring you quickly. We'll bring Conor Gray and our brother Fubi Herrings. Acid, what say you?
Thank you. So let me hope you allow me to say what I want to say. Councillor Good, the big councillor. Before I say anything, just a few seconds, let me ask you. What documents did you expect from FIA?
A good question.
Just short. Just short.
Yeah, short. I will be short. Monies don't move by magic in government entities. The purpose of the money will be classified based on what the money is intended for. But the money has to be used by documentation such as vouchers, payment requests. They will classify them as security, different purposes. But it can't just disappear. So you don't have to say that we spend the money to go back here.
Let me ask the question again.
Yeah, ask it again.
What documents did you expect from FIA? Just the documents. Don't explain all the ones.
Yeah, since it was used for covert purposes, there should have been documentation showing that the money was transferred.
Where?
That's it. Wherever it was spent.
So this is, Kev, thank you. I think if everyone were to listen to Kev, the whole story will be shut. It is my opinion that almost all of us here has a good understanding of how government works. So, Chief, if you use the word disappear, I'm not sure. So, the government of Liberia operates a consolidated account. It is in that account everybody pays taxes and put money. Before money leaves that consolidated account, there's a paper trail because that account is being hosted at the CBN. When the money leaves the consolidated account and goes in another account, there's a paper trail. Because the money didn't leave from one account and go in pocket, it went in another account. When the money leaves in a second account, there's a paper trail. Because the money is leaving a bank documented system. That's why I'm asking you, what documents do you expect? So let's give this conspiracy. If Stanton will allow me, I will be the first person I want for NSA to come and take me from America. Should I tell you, say one of the security, should I tell you today that one of the securities assigned with President Barker during the campaign was one of those on the NSA hired list to monitor President Barker movement? Should I tell you that? I will tell you today. You don't come for me. Should I explain anything to you about Henry Costa? I would say it and come for me. Chief, let's put it in our head. The paper trail stops at the point where the money can be seen, but not after where it cannot be seen. How will you feel for the people to tell President Barker today that you see they gathered behind you? He was one of those people spying on you. How will you feel? Chivo,
that national security man.
Oh, you say what?
That kind of scenario.
I said, all right, let go, remember. We gotta bring the other people to talk.
How do you use that scenario, my man? I'm being objective.
I am telling you.
When you say spying on President, that national security there.
Absolutely, President.
Yeah, national security.
That's what I said. It seems to be you are not into the case. When President, I am telling you today on the show that when President Barker said the country will be ended if he doesn't win, something happened, and that thing happened has somebody who was behind him. I'm telling you, I'm not asking, I'm giving you information.
Okay, so Asa, we gotta move on now. Let me bring in Gray and Henry.
No, yeah, no, it's okay. I was just calling him, but Chief, I'm giving you information. I'm not asking you a question. So what I'm saying here, if you would take a little slide back and picture what we are saying from one stage to the next, Kev asked the question. The guy from LACC that testified, he testified on an oath that Samuel Tweh was the one that approved the money. Yes, Samuel Tweh was the Minister of Finance. Who else you expect? He testified that the money was sent to FIA. Yes, when we all know. He testified that FIA gave the money to NSA, but the money it was intended for NSA, so NSA will receive it. Who else? And then at the end of the day, he said they did not see checks. They did not see checks from CBL.
Why don't you tell me, what did I do?
Your stuff, drum mute, yeah, the sound. So
that kept on mute himself. Let him mute. That mean
go and read the testimony, Chief. You are a lawyer. He said they did not see checks from CBL. Are you telling me when FIA was taking the money from CBL2, they didn't use check to take the money? How did they take it? Did they go in CBL vault and they open the vault and take the money from there? Who need you take check to the bank for the bank to?
All right, so I said, let's start bringing the others. It's 11:30 in the country. I beg you.
Think about it.
Producer will soon be leaving. My issue is that thank you, Isaac. Colonel Gray, you see, Colonel Gray, we want to hear you. We're going to hear you on this one. I just believe that. Just talk to me. Let me hold what I want to say. Talk to us, Colonel Gray.
Yes, hold on to it. I think there was a concerted effort to clear house, to cover this crime that was committed. It was a conspiracy, and the thing about it's like the National Clearinghouse. Every check that goes in the U.S. system goes through a clearinghouse. When the Minister of Finance authorizes any transaction, it goes through an integrated system called IFMIS, Integrated Financial Management Information System. It has to register there. It's not there. You understand? I buy into the conspiracy going missing in thin air. That's the cover-up. And that is where they made the mistake. They should have said, we never authorized this payment. It never happened. But you already admitted that you authorized the payment to go for security issue to FIA. And now the system through which money can get to another person is not accounted for. So that's the conspiracy. And Stanton, they can try as much to mangle this so that it can appear like like government is trying to go after them. But there's no trace of that money. If it's not in the IFME system, it doesn't exist. But they already have agreed that, yes, we authorize money to go out for national security. That's not how it's done. It has to go through the system. You can label any money anyway. You can say for national security, you don't have to explain, but it has to go through that IFME system. It's not there, Stanton.
Okay, so guys, let's agree that the money left finance ministry, left central bank. Let's just agree that the money at FIA. I don't want us to go around too much to confuse our audience. The money at FIA. But, Councillor, and let me bring in Henry Fubi. The turnover note, it should be included at over $600 million. But nothing, no turnover, nothing on turnover notes.
No, it can be there. National security.
Excuse me,
No, Stanton, no.
But Ken, you say no till you get tired. Obviously, I will still talk. Say no till you get tired. I don't know what you're saying no for. We talk about over $6.5 million. And nobody that taken over in the new government have a trace in the documentation. And you're saying no, Stanton, no, Stanton. I mean, you must say no to. For me, let me bring you in. How will you say no to me? Yeah.
Even the national security advisor to the president then said that all money that will be given to the entity should have financial records to back it. So it didn't rule out accountability of the money. So you can't say because the security matter, the money will disappear. So his security, that one of the reasons why he's even asking for a separate trial that was denied. Because he stated that there should be accountability for the money. So you should have trace. Even if you're not going to the details, there should be trace to how the money got there and how they use it. And instead, the other people didn't complain, so he assumed that they received the money. So he's not even certain that the money was used by them. But the guy from the controller from FIA said a boss authorized him to withdraw the money and told him to leave the money with somebody at central bank for somebody else to pick the money from that person. So the money never went to FIA in the first place. It remained at central bank according to his testimony. But the guy, the cashier at central bank also said, the teller said, that statement also is a lie. Nobody left money with him to give to somebody. So therefore now they cannot show any proof. So therefore the conspiracy comes in. And I had the money just lost and they can't show people trail because the money actually, even given to the financial unit, did not end up there for disbursement. It got missing between central bank and the guy that went to withdraw it. So there's an issue there of conspiracy. So that's why they denying that there is zero paper trail. You can't find evidence because there was no turnover, no like you asked just now. But there should be some level of evidence and accountability for that money, because the whole process does not negate the fact that because you doing security matter, you cannot document your activities. You cannot go into the details, but you got to state it that there is the money left from this point to this point. This other person requested, and was disbursed. Or you were not going to what the detail to give all the narrative, how you're going to use it, what you're going to use it for. But they should find how the money left the entity, so there should be accountability for the money.
Okay, we're going to talk about the border issue coming up. I want to say seriously, it's good that we have the American lawyer here, Governor Clinton, Liberia American lawyer. Well, I want to say, Councilor Gu, I'm very, very concerned, right, that we sit on the show every day and say the same thing over and over. The money is at FIA, even if that national security money. Will there not be any paper trail? So national security money now, we shouldn't get anything, whether in secret or out of secret. Is that exactly the message here?
Well, that is why a lot of Liberians are finding it difficult to even accept. And you know, the secrecy surrounding national security monies, we have used that as a cover up for many years in this country just siphon money and use it for slush fund. And I'm not saying this is the case, but a lot of regimes, if you look at the budget of NSA, continue to just increase year after year because it's an easy way to get funds that you can use elsewhere. And this is not a good way to account for people's money. If you are going to use money for national security, now this money in question, we are told, did not even get legislative approval because it was above what was approved. And when you're spending certain monies, even though you're not going to give the details of this money, you need to get this approval from the legislature. We're told this was not the case. Now, I don't know. The prosecution has to...
national security money get approval from the...
Well, so now you are telling me, and we have to learn this, that if you would spend $6 million at the wish of the president and later on can turn a national security issue, then I'm afraid that's a problem. I mean, the people's deputy will be informed that, look, we are spending $10 million above budget for national security matter. You are just seeing Donald Trump.
So let me hold you right there, right? And let balance this equation quickly. And I like where you're going with it. And this is about everybody. And if it is true, like what I kept saying, not all money, and I doubt it seriously, you have to have trade on when it's national security. Every penny, the country money, if it is not publicly shown, it should be in a secret box. Let me finish. It should be in a secret box that, yes, indeed, we got some trail. That when you go for national security meetings, the people involved in national security, they know how the money is spent. Am I correct, Councillor?
Yes, right. And that is why
so you cannot say
that is why President Trump has to go to Congress to get an approval for additional monies to be spent on the war. He will not give all the breakdowns of
$200 billion. That's right.
But Sando, you keep it to Liberia now. Keep it to Liberia. Why are discussing U.S. national security?
Yeah. Sorry, the American lawyers, so we shouldn't do this, Councillor. You're the Liberian lawyer. But Councillor, on a serious note, right? I'm seeing a problem here. Let's agree that people taking Tweh from the picture, that he gave the money. Don't blame him. Now they're after Tweh with conspiracy. Well, that's the legal framework. They can try, right? Senator say I got the money. But one thing you said that is important. Is this how Liberia operate? That president would just say spend 20 million, 50 million, 50 million, and nobody know anything about it, and you say put it on national security? So then the president, and the government in power can spend any amount of money and just roll it on the national security. Is this what we are seeing with the FOIA project? $10 million, and up to now we got no story to tell? That the president authorized somebody and says spend money? Can we go after, can the next government, the communist government, go and open an investigation? Is that what we are seeing with the war today at the border, the situation that Gafwan is spending money on necessarily, I would say, because he now, after the budget for national security, the president went back to the lawmaker and said, I need extra money. But what Gafwan is spending outside of the budget, you understand that, can the next government go after Gafwan now? Let us put this in context. You say $6.5 million project for MRU. You want to sign MRU communique, the people can't tell your land. We get it. We say 10 million, you say 6.5. This thing about 6.5. Can the next government go after Gafwan here now? Where the money is? Who authorized this money disbursement? The president on record said he didn't know about it. So it means that some people in the government will be prosecuted. Am I correct, Councillor? Am I correct? Because Joseph Baker is on state radio saying he didn't know about the project in FOIA. So therefore, we should prosecute somebody when this government is not in power. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're definitely correct. Because if the commander-in-chief doesn't know, then you can use it on national security issue because he's the top national security personnel in the country. Now, if you will use money outside of a budgetary allotment, then you have to get approval from the legislature. Even if you don't go into the details, no one president is giving a free hand. It's not carte blanche where you just spend money and come back and say, look, I spend this money on national security. That would be a loophole that nobody will be able to do.
Level, you right there. We're going to excuse Rosemary because our time up with the folks on the radio, and we'll wrap all year on Facebook. Rosemary, thank you very much for producing today. Thank you for helping us conduct the show. Have a blessed evening. Please, Rosemary, for the sake of Councillor Clinton, don't shut us off on Facebook. Just turn the radio off and then keep us on Facebook, please. You know I'm blessing with you. Thank you very much for producing for us. Have a good night, Rosemary. So, Fubi, still put your hand up to wait till they get it. Get out even seeing you, still put your hand up. They got it with somewhere in the country. Yo, somebody in my head. I'm bringing all Liberia finance on Spoon Talk. All the producers that will be female. Yo, somebody, y'all hear that with head.
No problem.
Okay, guys, let's go back to that. Go ahead.
We can link the FOIA project to the current saga with Samuel Tweh, because this one you are seeing a visible project that is on the ground. Samuel Tweh is basically action project.
You are wrong. You are wrong. The person say you
can just spend government money in and out.
But the project is spending, and it's for government.
But there's something called misappropriation, though.
No, that's a different thing.
Have you seen the deal? Have you seen the deal for that project? Have you seen the deal for that project?
You see, and now people Councillor Igu, people are saying, Stendo, why you change the topic? We got to be open-minded. We are beating on Samuel Tweh, right? We are beating on Samuel Tweh for 6.5 million. And the government just spent, they say, I know it's 10 million dollars, but the government saying that's 6.5 million, right? So that's the equivalent. Samuel Tweh, you say spend 6.5 million? Gafwan spent 6.5 million. So people will go after Gafwan. Wherever the money comes from, they will go after that individual and prosecute them. That's what I want to.
That's national security issue.
Well, the government is setting a dangerous precedent. You know, they're setting themselves obvious. They're going to be out of power, and the path they're taking, people are going to come after them too. This has been a practice from government to government, using NSA to run national security business for the money. So if the UP government now is going to go after Samuel Tweh, they should set themselves up. Like Senator is right, the 4-year project, and not just the 4-year project. We know that our NSA budget keeps going up every year. You know, so people will have to account for it at some point.
So Councilor Good, this is what I was saying here, right? If you look at all the statements from everybody involved in the case, the evidence showed that the money was placed in the controller's hand. Or placed there. From there on, there's no evidence to prove that Samuel Tweh interacted with any of the guys. Except you want to draw in circumstantial evidence, which you don't even have, because you have not proven or connected Samuel Tweh in any way to any of these guys. If I were the prosecution, I will go after these guys. If you get them, then you can have more information for them to see how the money was spent, which is not possible because under the Security Act, you know, they can't explain to us how the money was spent. So the government is actually fishing, and I want to strongly believe, and I will restate this, that the government is actually going after Samuel Tweh for political reasons. They don't have no criminal reason to go after Tweh.
But how do you find out?
Let me ask
Jeff, have you read the indictment?
Yes.
Now there are counts in that indictment that the state will prove. The state says it has evidence to prove. First thing the state presented those counts before the grand jury, and with the pieces of evidence that they had, the grand jury believed that yes, we have a case. So that's the first thing. The next thing, in court, the state will now have to prove every count in that indictment with hard evidence or circumstantial. In this case, it's difficult to use circumstantial because it's a paper trail. So you have to go for direct evidence. I continue to hear you talk about, placing. Let's move some to aside. Let's just go general to the point of where you are saying that because you have the the disbursing power, right? So when you disburse, nobody should hold you accountable for what Clinton does with the money. You should be
no, that's not what I said. No, it's inaccurate. No, but it's inaccurate. No, you're not correct. I didn't say that. What I said is that this is security money. Security don't report back on how the money was spent. You get what I'm saying? So if the money was, yes. So
you are saying that why is it that Tweh is being brought into this trial when everything points to the fact that Tweh disbursed the money? He disbursed the money, right, to FIA, and what FIA does or did with the money, I know at the time, right, they should account for the money instead of asking Tweh.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying to you.
But I think that's a strong argument too, though. I think that's a strong argument.
Yeah, so that's the point. That there will be reasons why, and we'll give the scenario. There'll be reasons why, because understand, the state was saying that even the procedure to have the money disbursed was wrong. And the state said it has evidence to show. I'm coming. The state said it has evidence to show. Yes, it has evidence to show that it was wrong.
So that's a different argument.
No, wait, but they're coming now. The first argument to bring somebody in who has the power to disburse is first whether that person did the disbursement in conformity with the law. The state saying no, you did not follow the procedure. The state say, okay, you send the money went to Fubi, but Fubi cannot account for the usage of that money, meaning that the money that the reason for which you send the money to Fubi was not used for that purpose. So the state saying, if Fubi, it has evidence to show that Fubi used the money for himself. The state will now say, is now saying that the fact that you bypass the procedure of dispersing that money and allow it to go to Fubi, it means you know, or you have reason to know that Fubi were going to mismanage or misapply. So that is the conspiracy theory.
So, Senior Counsel, look at the charges. Look at the charges leveled against the finance minister. Look at the charges.
No, I've been general in terms of how do you bring somebody in who has, because you talk about conspiracy.
That is hypothetical.
You may not have the evidence. That's why you have conspiracy. You have facilitation.
So
you could not conspire, but you could facilitate.
So let's bring it back to the Tweh case. Is there evidence from the government?
The government says it has evidence.
It has evidence that Tweh bypassed the procedures to provide.
The case just starting. The case just starting. So let's wait for the evidence the government produced. Let's wait for the witnesses.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. While we have considered Lafayette on, I'd like to bring one of the main reasons he came on the show for also. And something Yeket is passionate about is the border issue. If you look at the newspaper today, front page newspaper, which is this newspaper will be out tomorrow, you got two things here, which is very important. Why lawmakers want Yeket out, and the front page major story is Macron says no. Macron says no. We'll come to consider Richard Gould. The situation at the border remains the same. Nothing changed. Stand still, consider. Let's get you've been hearing this thing for almost 2-3 weeks now. What say you? Then we'll talk about whether it was true, because some government folks saying that the president didn't call Macron. That's what they are saying. I spoke to them today. They are saying the story on front page is wrong. I just have another conversation with some of them. They say, how can Macron say no when the president didn't even call Macron? But they agreed to say that the president called Paul Kagame, all right, and some other ECOWAS African leaders, but the president have not spoken to Macron. I'm not believing their story, and I'm not saying they are wrong, but what I'm saying, they are going against front page reporting that the president didn't speak to Macron. Let's leave that for a second, sir. Councillor Orishabu, what's your own take on this border, the way in which the government is handling the border situation?
Thank you. For the record, let me say this is a matter that should claim all Liberians' attention. We should be patriotic at this point at the highest level. But we also want to ensure that people are accountable and they show leadership and they are fair and transparent to the Liberian people. Now, when this episode started to erupt at the border, what we saw was, first of all, our response has been extremely poor and weak from any diplomatic standpoint. Now, once our border lines and therefore our sovereignty has been encroached upon, what did Liberia do? We responded by making a song, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea, we are one, and all of those kind of nonsense. And thinking that by singing a song and playing that music, it will help to ease any situation at the border. That's disingenuous. And look, let's face this. At this point, I'm also disappointed, and Liberia has been, if you look at our history as a country, first, let's think now, can we even defend ourselves as we are calling ourselves an independent country? Can we defend ourselves against any form of aggression? This is the perennial question that we have to answer. When rebels came into this country in 1990, the military was weak and they had us to run around with mattresses and everything on our head. And yet we were paying them with taxpayer dollars and everything, and they couldn't hold up against that aggression. You have an external aggression now, and we respond by playing music and saying that, you know, we are all of one, and we play music, and people are stubborn. We go to a meeting in Guinea, nothing happening. Our national security people has been, the military is just there for peacekeeping, disaster operation, and small things that they do, nothing to show that they can defend us. This is troubling. Anybody can get on a boat tomorrow and perhaps come and grab our president and start taking our president. What will we do? Are we really an independent sovereign nation? This is something that we should earnestly address. If we don't have the military might to deal with this, are we savvy enough diplomatically to ensure that we get the powers that be to side with us? By now, maybe we should be talking to Donald Trump. You don't even need a letter from Donald Trump, maybe just a tweet on X to say XYZ, and the Guinean president will stop right in his tracks. You don't even need a letter or diplomatic note from him. Do we have that rapport to ensure that we can have those people assist us? Have we taken this matter to the UN apart from just making the music and having few of our soldiers go in the bushes and hide themselves so people don't see them? I mean, this is not the way you run a country, and it's so unfortunate. I feel ashamed. We are not advocating any war, Stanton. We are not advocating go there and start an aggression with anybody. But is this how you respond to an aggression on your sovereignty, by just making the music and going over there? People are displays and everything. And by the way, the music is fun music. But I thought the music would come at the end of the resolution or all of these things. But the first thing we did, and if we begin to be objective, then the Ministry of Information will come up and say, anybody who talking will arm you. This is the height of irresponsibility. And not because you're in government today, you will talk like that. This is, I just can't imagine some of the things these folks would say, because some of us, Well, with them in opposition, what we advocated for, this is not what they're doing. And we are facing this kind of threat, and you try to massage it all this way. Guinea is not backing up. They will not likely back up as a result of all the things we're doing. We have to show that we have the might. If it's not military might, obviously we've been spending less and less into our military budget over the years, and therefore we dare not venture to have any military issue over there. But the president signed up for tax, took an oath to defend the Constitution of Liberia, and part of that oath requires defending and protecting the sovereignty of our country. Now, some would dare say that he's derelict at that particular function, and that oath that he has taken, he's in violation of it. Because if we have all this aggression and people coming up and there's no coordinated effort, by now we would think that the president will assemble opposition leaders to find out how we can deal with this, like Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did when we were plagued by Ebola, for example, or when George Weah had a situation of, I think, COVID or something. You assemble political leaders so we can start. This is time for patriotism, for all of us to unite. But instead, you're picking at people who have been critical and objective. You're trying to suspend a lawmaker who you know obviously overspoke and was expressing his frustration. And you're leaving a substantive issue. If we're not careful, those folks may take away Lofa from us. Do you think they just want a few meters of land over there? Have we lodged a formal complaint to the United Nations? Do we have a formal complaint at the AU? If those complaints are not dealt with, what are we prepared to do about that? Sometimes you can't fight a man, but if he knows that he will have to fight you for the rest of his life, then he probably think twice trying to get into a fight with you. Because even you beat a guy, he will be there. You beat him, he will be there. Eventually, you will start begging him not to fight you. Because this is sheer nonsense. And for us to have people, you know, when I heard that music, I was so disappointed. I mean, how do you respond to a major national emergency like this? People displaced everywhere. The speaker had to go to the border and order for the national disaster people and the LPRC people to respond as if they don't know their function. This is ridiculous.
Councillor, let me hold you there. Let bring all the people. Forget that speaker thing. It's a scam. They may put money in the budget for the people. They say they put money magic to go to place and use money. What kind of money? He put money in the budget for them. He was on a joke. He's a joker speaker. He's a regime speaker. He's a scam. You don't have money in the budget. You didn't help LPRC and that of disaster management. They will get them for the 8 hours ultimatum. And guess what? It expired. It passed 96 hours. So how can we take the speaker serious? But I leave the guy alone. You know, I'm tired of talking on this guy. You know, and that's his own problem. Yeah, after this year, he will not be representative again. So let's leave him alone. Let us come to the issue you just talked about. It's very important, though. You know, I want to bring in Yeket. The fact, remember that I tried to leave this story. Can somebody consider good? Can the government make it easy for us? Because each time we want to leave this story, the Liberian people say you cannot. Because without you, Spoon, we get nothing. Nobody know what's happening, no here, no there. So we have to talk about this, Councillor. But what you want President Bwaka to do, Councillor? What would be your advice to the president?
Well, look, clearly, we are not prepared to engage in any kind of armed aggression with our neighbors. And given our recent history, we're very hesitant. So what I would do, and I spoke to my political leader just before he traveled, and in fact, I said in times like this, we all need to. In fact, he said to me, in times like this, we all need to come together and try to help our country because this is the country we want to lead. So we're going to make some efforts. I will call the president personally. I will make some recommendations to him, and I will see whether we can pull some strings outside the country to ensure that the Guineans will not walk all over us. And that was great. In times like these, you use your network, use your connection. Look, the president had a soft spot with Donald Trump, for example. Since we're not going to engage them militarily, Donald Trump has said our president speaks good English and he liked him and he knows him. In fact, we have a channel open now to receive some deportees from the U.S. to come into our country as a result of background workings by our government, the U.S. government. He could have made a pitch and say, look, we have some aggression coming by our neighbor, the Guineans, and XYZ, and who knows who's influencing it, whether it's a further external influence that they're having. Please do something. I know you are engaged in war now in Iran, but just a tweet from you. And those things happen. If Donald Trump just go on his Twitter page and advise the Guineans to draw back, my friend, within 2 hours they will draw back because you know the fellow. But none of those things happening. We're just sitting and praying and just waiting and all of that stuff, and people just gaining territory. Look, I don't know whether this is true, but what I'm hearing, the Guineans are after taking Lofa, significant portion of Lofa. And if that is the case, we are in trouble. How can you be a president? To me, you would have failed. Forget about everything else you're doing. If under your watch, we'll lose our territory to others. Now we have other presidents in this country that were much more weaker. I mean, you had interim president Ruth Perry was here just hanging. We literally had any military. Nobody took an inch of our territory. And if it happens under this democratically elected president, it will scar and mark his legacy for eternity. I don't know if this president can. And they're taking it very lightly. This is a serious challenge to the legacy of the Unity Party. And I can tell you, if they don't handle this well, they can kiss future elections or leadership in this country goodbye.
Are you saying the Guineans seriously going to take over Lofa, not even a territory, the entire Lofa?
I am saying that from what we are hearing and for some of the aggressive nature they are being engaged with, they want to take a significant portion of Lofa. And that may include the entire Foya. And that is sad.
Thank you very much.
Mike is right.
George, if what you are saying, Councillor Good, then it's different from what Yeke is hearing, and Yeke was hearing out there that they want to impeach him for today. Let listen to Dr. George. This is huge. If what the councillor is saying, I'm concerned that part of Lofa will be taken for you, and we are where we are and playing music and singing. Dr. George.
Stanton, I want to first of all thank Councillor Gould for such a wonderful analysis and for the revelation of how Mr. Benedict Cummings decided to take the issue by reaching out to the President of the Republic of Liberia. I've said it on this show, and I will take what my national chief said a bit further. The president have weapons around him, and he had refused to use what he had. When I was working on my dissertation, Stanton, I had the opportunity of interviewing Mary Brownell. And this was a story she told me when we had tension between Charles Taylor, Guinea and Liberia during Charles Taylor time. She told me she went to Conakry, got in touch with one of the ladies who were close to Alpha, the president of Guinea, and told him in his face that if you don't stop this cerebral crisis, I will sit down on you with my B-bot. Yeah, I will sit down on you with my B-bot because you have to stop this thing. And then the Guinean president turned to her and said, "You my man. I agree. I will call President Taylor." What is stopping President Boyka from reaching out to former President Johnson Sirleaf? What is stopping him from making her a special envoy on this situation? What is stopping him from calling former President George Weah, political leader Alexander Benedict Cummings? These are people who are respected and known in the international community. What is stopping him from asking them to assist in solving this problem? This is a national problem. It's not a unity party problem. It is not a Joseph Boyka problem. It's a national problem. And we have to unleash the weapons we have, the people we have who have the respect in the communities. Madam Sedi is an eminent person in the international community. What is stopping him from asking her to assist in solving this problem? When you asked the question last night, that was my solution. Call your political leaders together. Have a meeting with them. Send them, and the former president, send them out and say, we have to solve the problem. This is 1 week going to week 2. This thing is still lingering. And I agree with Councillor Gu. Once someone has sat in your territory and they feel comfortable, they will want more of what they have because they feel you can't do anything about it. And that's the reason why you have to stop them as much as you can. No one said we should go to war, but the government continues to appear weak. Maybe they are doing it in the back door, but I don't see anything on the front to actually say this government is doing something serious about this crisis. So my recommendation to the government is call your political leaders who have influence together, sit with them. Call Madam Edith Johnson Sirleaf and ask her if she can kind of be the special envoy to solve this problem. She did it in the Gambia, and she have done it in other part of West Africa. And I strongly believe that if we work with what we have the results we have without even shooting a single bullet. Dumoya is not crazy. Nothing wrong with him. No power when he see power. And when power appears before him, he will respect power. Unfortunately, it seems that he does not respect our president. He showed it when our president left Liberia and went all the way to Guinea for his inauguration. He treated our president with such a high level of disrespect. You could see it on the video. Clearly, he disrespected President Boyka. And we cannot allow this to continue to be his mindset, that he can do anything because he don't have any respect for the president of Liberia. We have to make him to understand that Joseph Yima Boyka is the president of the Republic of Liberia, and he must respect our president. But the president must take the stand of making sure that the personalities and the arsenal he had, he should put in the news so that he can gain the respect he needs. This is his legacy. I totally agree with Councillor Gu. In fact, I didn't think in that direction. This is his legacy online. This is his legacy. But we are playing and fun, sitting down thinking this thing will solve, or the problem will solve itself naturally. This problem is not going to solve itself naturally. We must decide to be serious about it. Why reach out to France? These boys, these military boys who are in Guinea, Mali, and Burkina Faso, they don't have much respect for France. They don't have much respect for France. In fact, when Doumbouya took over, he had a problem with France. That just recently decided to have the French started to have some kind of say in Guinea. So if we reach out to France, that's nice. But those military boys who have taken over in West Africa have no serious respect for France. And I don't think the French is the best people to go to right now to solve this problem for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's say, Jeff, what will Chris on this?
Thank you, Stanton. So Stanton, the first thing, nobody should call on any Liberian to be patriotic now and rally behind Boyka, because Boyka himself is very unpatriotic. As a commander-in-chief, by this time, he should be able to rally the citizen, rally the political leaders, like what Councillor Gu said, to confront this situation. Instead, he's trying to play a strongman game, which he knows that he has no respect in the sub-region. Nobody respects Boyka because of who he is. He has not presented himself to be a respectable person anywhere in the sub-region. Let's talk about the international community. He has no connection, no contact, no influence on any global leader. So, of course, he's not able to solve this problem by himself. His foreign policy is the weakest ever in our history. They're not able to do anything. This problem is going to persist until Boyka can realize that other Liberians are able to help in this process. Look, Boyka is the commander-in-chief. If he's weak and behaving like a lame dog, nobody will support him. Nobody will help to rally around him. Everybody will try, but nobody will do anything substantial. But Boyka has demonstrated to the world, to the region, that he's the weakest link in our region. He's the weakest president. He's a lame duck president. He doesn't even know how to defend his own territorial integrity. Since the thing has happened, there haven't been one military presence at all. But we're not seeing go and fight. But at least let some military presence be placed at our borders. Let the Guinean know that we do have military. Then you can use other channels to resolve the situation. But Bouaka, as a commander-in-chief, is not even able to rally the military to do that. But mind you, Bouaka was able to rally the military to break down homes. He was able to rally the military to come out at the airport when Seditian went out to meet His Excellency President George Weah. He rallied the army to do that. The police, he's using them to execute Liberians at Kenjo and other places in our country. But he's not able to rally them to defend our territorial integrity. This is shameful on the part of Bouaka. Bouaka has proven to be the worst president in the history of our country. And if he continues like this, Liberia will be remembered as the weakest country in West Africa and in the Monrovia Union under the leadership of Bouaka. And this has to stop. The Guineans are not taking it for jokes. See what they did in Sierra Leone. They took over the land in Sierra Leone and never returned it. In fact, they arrested the soldiers in Sierra Leone. Look, this guy is a serious junta. He means what he's doing. If Bouaka continues to quickly act like a lady, act like a big girl, look, he's not going to listen to Bouaka.
Let me bring in Conor Gray. Conor Gray, let's bring you in.
Thank you, Stanton. Opposition will capitalize on anything they have on hand because they've lost the battle on in the electoral box. So they'll do everything in their mind. This is an impeachable offense. You hear these kinds of lines seriously, but if you can't win in the ballot box, believe me, nobody will take power from somebody who won in the ballot box and give to you. You have to fight the other battle. But I remember when Madam Salif faced, what's the disease, not Ebola? Yeah, Ebola. The succeeding party had all the meackering to say, oh, Madam Salif, in fact, she was in France, and there's crisis at home, come here, if I did bring George Weah, this is what will happen. And then COVID came down to the rice that were meant for Liberians were converted into private use. A lot of things happened. People started complaining about COVID. What happened? It was mishandled, mismanaged. That is exactly what crisis is. Look at the guy in Guinea. That is a guy who has no respect for older people. Alpha Conde is a clear case in court. He has a disdain for older people. That's his military temperament. You have to be able to go bypass around that and come, and face him. You're saying that we're not saying fight, but just stand up to the man. It takes two to fight. When you stand up to something, it means you want to fight. That is what it is. Now, this government has seen that the military that Madam Salif and his associate demoralized and form a small army they refer to as, we are not going to be facing external aggression. We just need one small army that will mind the peace. Mostly will be deployed at peacekeeping missions. And that is the kind of army we have there today. There are people who were trained and money was spent on them. Millions and billions of dollars, those people have those skills. They came and retrenched them. Why? Because Madam Salif political opponents dealt with her. So there is displaced aggression from her. And to see that army remain demoralized as it is. But until you have enough, look, even if we don't fight Guinea today, there will come another leader with that temperament that will stand and reclaim all of those lands. If people think that the diplomacy they have no other alternative but to pursue this diplomatically. It worked in the Bakazi Peninsula. Nigeria used her might and took that land away from the Cameroonians. Later on, the court decides that it belongs to Cameroon. All those who were there as Nigerians had to leave or stay as Cameroonians. That is a solution that we can exploit. We can also exploit other avenues like like I said, the people in the Ogaden region in Somalia and Ethiopia use, where the UN can decide. In this day and age, nobody can just walk into your land and cajole it. But at the end of the day, war, standing up, I'm not saying retreat, just stand up. That kind of mentality would be the last recourse. And I will hope that we don't just rush into judgment to go fight Guinea and then we'll be annihilated simply because we don't have the manpower and our army was intentionally demoralized, and we don't have the moral rectitude to stand against an army who has spent so much when we are still playing. It can't be an imagination. You have to make up your mind. What do you want to do? Build an army that will stand up to the enemy?
But I'm confused on everything you say. You talk about Cameroon, you talk about Nigeria, you talk about Gabon, you talk about everything. What do you want Joseph Boga to do now? Because you're all over the place. You want him to say army or you don't want him to say army?
Pursue the diplomatic. I said it yesterday. Stanton, I said it yesterday. Continue to exploit the diplomatic means because that's the only tool you have now. You don't have a standing army that will stand.
You let talking about. I've traveled in that place where it was hot. I traveled in that place where air killed. The Cameroonians were present with heavy military presence. In fact,
but at the end of the day, they did not win. That's why the UN decided
for over 1 hour.
Emmanuel, I want you to listen to me. At the end of the day, with all their military might that was standing there, they did not win. The United Nations had to decide their destiny, and that's the solution that worked.
So let's bring in Phoebe. Phoebe, let's hear you.
Yeah, so like I've always said, the government is not proceeding in the right direction. The government have sent a clear message to its people that she cannot protect the citizens. That's the message that the government has sent out. And that's sad. And all of those stem from even the way the budget is crafted. You got lawmakers making more than 150% of what they gave to the military. So the military will not be able to stand up. So like I said, I did a budgetary reappropriation. They have to look for money and reach out to friendly countries and pay for the services of extra manpower. And they can do that. And they have you cannot say you're the father of the house, somebody attack your home, and you honor the day you say you're calling for help, and your children and your wife standing there to face the people. You have to be there. You have to come up. You have to show up that say, look, even you don't have to go and start fighting or blowing a man, but you have to stand up to the man and tell the man, look, I'm the man in this house. But we're not seeing that from our government. And you have a military, you hiding them somewhere. Then you say immigration goes down, that's a key.
In America, yeah, if you don't able to man, the man get going, he get your children call 911. Don't go there. That thing that you have to go there, no. I will call 911. You call
911. That's only 911.
We get 911, yeah, we'll call 911. I think you tell you.
Over there, 911 respond to you. Because you're paying taxes for 911 to respond. In our case,
911. Donald Trump is our 911. I want to answer the good saying, call Donald Trump.
But we're not doing that. And that's why I say you have Nigeria got military warfare. You attack on that source, but pay for it. Don't go back for free manpower. Reappropriate some of the money to the military and pay for the services of extra manpower to come in to stand for you. Then you also have to, when you're exploring the diplomatic approaches, in the calling powerful nations and say, look, this is the thing we are facing. But you can't leave everything and your borders are vulnerable. The guys are planting a flag all over. They plant some in Konadu, they plant some in Soloban, they're going to plant some another place. You know, so it's not a good sign for the country. And when the guys want to take it like CDC was the United Party was everybody that speak against the party speak against the government, and you can't use that route. There's a national issue. We should all rally around us to stand up. Everybody's subjected to be taken seriously. It's not about who hate Bwaka or who hate the United Party. No, there's not about United Party and for the opposition. There's about Liberia. So if they can't see it from that angle, the country will keep regressing, and it's a bad precedent. Even the president home county that is being encroached upon and our land being taken. And you looking at it, thinking that something that is a joke. It's not a joke. It's a big issue. And I think I also call all these neighboring countries that are having borders with Guinea to close their borders with Guinea, because Guinea is moving. The release a statement. Sierra Leone, Senegal, Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, they say they're going for all their land that they have on the places. So just close your border with Guinea. Let Guinea face the sea. Nobody can go into Guinea or leave from Guinea to go to any other country. Let them use the sea to do their activities. That's one of the way you put it and put in check. When the
Thank you very much, Phoebe. Again, we want to say thank you for joining us. I think I always say, go for the strong man when they tell your house no. We stay and call 911 on our phone on the bed, and we pray 911 come as fast as possible, and then we come out to talk. As Governor Clinton, you know exactly what I'm saying. Governor?
Look, thank you. Thank you. Look, first, I think Conor Gray. I think Conor Gray have such disdain for President Weah and the CDC, and so when it comes to President Weah and the CDC, he spills some things that are incorrect. Look, let's first correct that. The government of Liberia under President Weah handling of the COVID-19 was so good, they performed so well that the United Nations, the U.S. government had to send a delegation to Liberia to learn firsthand our lessons. The UN congratulated the CDC government, and the CDC government was heralded around the world for its handling of COVID-19. That is a fact. You got to go and research that. You can't come and spill things here because you don't like President Weah. We did so well with COVID under President Weah. That's a fact. Also, even the issue with President Sirleaf, when you talk about intentionally dismantling the army, it was under President Sirleaf that the army was reformed. Using the UN, using the U.S. government personnel, the army will reform, the standards will improve. So that is also, a fact that needs to be corrected. But let's come back to this border issue. I don't get it when people say when you put the armed forces of Liberia at the border, now you're creating a provocation. So you put immigration there with AK-47s, you put the police there, they have AK-47, but when you put the army people with AK-47, then now it's a provocation. So the only difference is in uniform. AFL uniform, then a provocation. They all carry the same AK-47. Doesn't make sense to me. I said yesterday, we do not know the intent of the Guineans. And for anyone to think that the Guineans are only coming to get a few kilometers of land doesn't make sense. Why would they do that? Just come across the road and just take a bit of land. There's a bigger ambition here. They'll start small and see how we get out. They might push forward. And this is what is important. You have to show some strength. Put the military right now at the border, show some strength. We're not saying yes to Guineans. We're saying show some military strength. And then up the diplomatic pressure. And Councillor Gould was right. He said a lot of good things. The government should be mobilizing all its people, all its connections. We have one of the most respected presidents in the world, President Sirleaf. You can't use her. This lady is so respected in the international community, and she can break some barriers. President Weah has a lot of connections all there. We can use him. We can use Ellis Cummins. Cummins is very well connected here in the U.S. So we have people that the government can utilize to up the pressure. Again, we have to be talking to the Americans. The Americans can easily solve this problem. As somebody talk about President Waka is talking to Kagame in East Africa. I mean, I understand he has relationship with the Guinean president, but why Kagame? Kagame is over in East Africa. I don't know how much influence he has. You have to be talking to the Nigerians. That's the superpower of West Africa right there. You have to be pressuring ECOWAS. You have to be pressuring the AU. And look, we have a good connection with America. We have to use the right people, and they can easily solve this problem. You have to up the diplomatic pressure, but you also have to show some strength by putting the military up there in Lofa.
Well, Kagame have a very godfather relationship to Weah, and he listens to him a lot. So that's the reason why the president called into Kagame, Governor Clinton.
Oh, nice. What's the response to Kagame? Has he solved the problem yet?
No, but the president called him yesterday. You expect the president to say, yes, he solved our problem. You were asking the reason why he called Kagame. Now I'm just sharing with you. Now we can ask for how far that conversation went.
But it's not just about calling, it's the impact. That's what you should just call.
Yeah, but he spoke to him. No, first of all, you say why he called Kigali. Let's stick to what you said.
Well, but there's a reason why I said it. The reason I don't think he's going to have that much impact as the Americans who have.
And I agree that you have changed it as a criminal lawyer. You say you don't think. So let's leave you like that. You said you don't think. You just said that now. All right. Let me bring in the general counsel, the one that quit from the government, I believe, is Biku. But he's a consultant. He quit from the Ministry of Justice, but he's a consultant at LDCC. I don't know why that, but no, let me bring you in.
Okay, so let me say this, Jeff. Sometimes you say the truth to an old person. They can call you, set you aside, and even buy you a bottle of beer and have lunch with you. That same truth, the way you would say, they'll go in the house and look for a single barrel and gun and won't shoot you. Sometimes the way we address the presidency is demeaning, is wrong.
But
hey, my friend, give me 10. Give me 10, you come out. No, give me 10, you come out.
No, Jab, you told the man, you said no, Jab, I will protect him. Let him know, I can't promise you that. Let him know, your talking time finished, Jab.
We'll do it all on the show. I come to Remy Gray.
No,
Remy, like Clinton said, Liberia was rated as one of the best in terms of the way they handled the COVID-19. Go to the WHO report. The added preparation, all the listed. So to try to find a way, and to denigrate everything that was done by the past regime, it's unfair. But I like your points on the issue now. If I were the president of this country, the military will be at the place where those Guineans are now. In Liberia, the portion of Liberia they're in. My military will be there as commander-in-chief of the army. From the day the military, those guys crossed over to Liberia and the Liberians were, we drove them back. And they planted a flag and they put it down and left. That same day, I would have ordered my military to move in there. There where we miss out. I think our intelligence will pull in terms of following those guys to know the next plan. Because now I can understand why it's going to be difficult to deploy the military, because the other side would think now that you come to confront. Now, police going there, immigration going there, it's wrong, it's supposed to be there. But they let wait to the military. I mean, the military don't bother them. Those are civil forces, didn't care for them. When they start to see full deployment, then they think now that we're coming on the offensive to push them away, it could trigger something. I can understand that. But we missed the point. The moment those guys left and gone to Kinu and went back to Guinea, that was the day we should have declared the military to move in that very area and deploy. Let's see if they're going to come back to say they won't cross where the military are. They will not have been there today. Because they knew now that we're going to be straight aggression they were coming for now. But we missed out on that. And that's what makes it difficult for us to deploy the military now to go. Because when you go and deploy the military now, the military will not take over where they are. The military will have to stop to where they stop. So then it means that the military will not be protecting the full boundary of Liberia. That is the issue of why the military cannot go there now. I've gotten the understanding. Why they can't go there now? Because the military is under obligation to protect the sovereignty, the entire landscape of the country. Now they have one small place. You go sit down somewhere, you see somebody saying now you can't move there. It's an area. That is the reason why they will not move. Yes, a lot of things have not been done. I mean, where we are now, I want to say we're in a, I would just say we're in a mess. Seriously. Sorry for the expression, we're in a mess. And the only thing that I think we can do now is the issue of this whole diplomatic thing, but then who we talk to intervene matters. How do we approach it? Because the information that I got, that even the meeting they had, the guy was very rude in that meeting. And so he's serious, he's bent on doing whatever he wants to do. So it depends on who we are contacting to get them to move from that area. So we all have to just put our heads together now. Government officials should forget about whether some of the opposition. No, when something happens here, if I didn't want to feed us, and because the poor people run into the house and think they got money and food there. So if they think that they've saved, they're on their own. So they stand to lose more than people who are already down. So they have to rally the people, rally everybody, all hands on deck, because this is about our sovereignty. And let us work together to ensure how we find a way to solve this problem. But it's reached to the point now where you cannot politicize it. No, it's a national issue. It's a national security. Our country is being seized at a particular place. It's being encroached upon. What do we do? So we sit down and say, oh, that UP government started, it ain't come for early, it will not on easy, that UP government so more leave then. No. When something happens here, my brother, sometimes you would think that looking for Guinea, somebody look at you and say you look like Guinea. Somebody who had issue with you long time, they come to take the big Guinea and they coming for you. So we all need to work together. The president, the government needs to call every single person that have some kind of influence in this country outside, whatever, use whatever means to solve the problem. Where we are,
we got to go back to consider Orisha Boot. I want to say thanks to all of you for joining us. It's 12:33 a.m. in Liberia, 8:33 p.m. here, New York Eastern Time, USA. It's very important for us to note that the government is trying. I think the government should do better. Those responsible with the microphone in this government, they should speak clearly and in a simple term, consider Orisha Boot, for our people to understand. The president is working. The president making a lot of phone calls. But I appreciate what you said concerning call other political leaders that have some influence and influence on other places around the world. They will try, they will help, they will make things happen. It's good for Liberia to know that. It's not about unity party. This thing about we can do it, we'll do it, or we'll destroy country Liberia. It will. And that's what we are saying. You listen to the justice minister, threaten journalists and media institutions and lawmakers and other individuals that don't talk. If you talk, we'll come after you. It will not solve our problem. It will just make this thing worse. Putting blame on CDC and George Monrovia, on ANC, on CMC, it will not solve the problem. Our problem should be addressed and solved by ourselves. But President Joseph Yimabwaka, in all seriousness, everything I've heard, he's making a lot of phone calls. Are these phone calls yielding any results? That's the problem. Are these phone calls bringing back any positive hope for us? That's the problem. But every day, Orisha Boot, the people move one step further into Liberia. So what you said today, maybe this guy is eyeing the entire foyer. The lawmakers are dancing. The more we get together, it's not helping. They are out of childish. The situation is getting bad. But I can say to the Liberian people tonight, though, the president making phone calls, listen to the communication that came from Sierra Leone. They are on the same path. They said diplomacy, diplomacy, diplomacy. And nobody wants war in Liberia because this thing would turn to be a religious war. And that's the fear. This thing will be the ethnic cleansing. And that's a bigger fear in our country. Let's look around Liberia to the council. Why closing this? We are bordered by what? Other countries. Guinea, almost 95, 92, 95% Muslim. The Fulani coming from all over. Look at Ivory Coast and look at Sierra Leone. We have Fulani in our country. We have our Muslim brothers and sisters. What will happen if people say this is about Christian and Muslim? A lot of bad things undercover people are hearing. So what we want our president to do, put the AFL at that place and somebody stupid and fire one bullet on the Guinean, they will get every reason, and even they can shoot themselves. Do you know that? And they will lie, say the AFL soldier at the border shot at them. We get no ballistic testing to see where that bullet came
We
from.
send down the gun, the immigration gear can work.
No, I beg you. Let me
police
say
getting
this.
work.
Governor Clinton, I beg you. This is not ever laughing thing, Governor. You are comfortably in your home. I'm in my home comfortably here in the United States. We got so many disadvantaged youth in Liberia. When something happened at that border and people begin to run, the serious effect will be in Monrovia. Stores will close down. Looting will start happening. And people will be in the worst shape like 1990 war. We don't want that. So the action of the national joint security, the action of the president, the action of those responsible today, we should applaud them. And I think we should give them time. Maybe, and only maybe, this thing will help. Diplomacy will work.
Thank you, sir.
So, but I do appreciate you. This is more than what we are seeing. Let's put them back across the border. No, it's deeply rooted in the culture and religion of some folks. They are looking for war. They are looking to destabilize our peaceful nation, something we fought for 14 to 18 years. 12 years under Madam Salih, peaceful. 6 years under George Monrovia. 3 years under Joseph Nima Bwaka. He should tread very carefully with this. Because the people that will sit down and say, go and fight Guinean, those are the folks that would be in Ghana, in Ivory Coast, in the Americas, in Europe. And then we see our people being displaced. We should give this government time. We should give Joseph Nima Bwaka to explore everything in his arsenal diplomatically to find a solution. And calling on Cummings, and calling on Madam Salih, and calling on former President George Monrovia would be the best thing to do. And I do believe they would tell the folks in the party, diplomacy is the key here. And let's give Joseph Nima Bwaka the chance. So I will appeal to all Liberians. It's happening, we agree. We'll report the truth. But we should give diplomacy the chance and allow Joseph Nima Bwaka to exhaust every opportunity in solving this situation. Other than that, we are not safe in Monrovia. We are not safe in Grand Bassa. The Capitol building is not safe. The executive mansion will not be safe. And people will be put in displaced camp outside of Liberia. And we don't want that. Before America intervenes, the airport will be locked down. The seaport will be locked down. Our people will be hungry. We just don't want that. And that's the crowd of President Bwaka. He wants us to be patient. And I hope Liberia will understand. This will be my message moving forward. We don't want ethnic cleansing. We do not want religious war. We just want a peaceful diplomacy to resolve this. To you, Councilor Gu, I say thank you for joining us. May God bless you. May God bless your party as you lead under the chairmanship today for AMC. I know you want to do your final closing. Go ahead, so we'll only give you the time to close, and then we'll leave the show.
Thank you. Look, Look, I
So we
couldn't
won't get
agree with
30
you
seconds
more.
each.
I think the overriding refrain here is that we should try to resolve this in a very peaceful manner. And because of all the reasons you described, and it would be very disadvantageous to us if we should engage militarily. I mean, from all standpoints, you will see that it will be in our best interest to use diplomatic means. Look, I spoke to our political leader. One of the things he said that could be happening now is for the president himself, not his deputy. We are at the height of a national emergency. For the president himself to begin to brief the citizenry, not using the minister. Let him call press briefing. You see what President Trump does. Call press briefing himself and say, my fellow Liberians, these things, and abreast the Liberian people. Speak with them, rally them around. This is not an issue that you can second to a third party. This is not an issue you want to have people deputizing for you because it stretches at the core of your legacy. This is what we're talking about. We will remain patriotic, okay? We will remain patriotic. And this is a good call you have made, Stanton. And we also put that. But we also want the right steps taken so that this thing doesn't prolong. Because what you are avoiding, if we prolong this, it will have an effect on our economy. It will have an effect on our people's life. People displaced from LOFA will also affect us. So we need to resolve this quickly. Let the president begin to speak to the Liberian people directly himself, perhaps on a weekly basis. Let him make the call to the opposition leaders. Let him call for a joint stakeholder meeting so that there can be exchange of ideas. There are other things that we know we may not be able to say on this platform because of the sensitivity of it. Let him engage all Liberians so that we can resolve this thing quickly and peacefully. And I believe that it can be done. But we are not putting our best foot forward. So I want to thank you for the opportunity tonight. This is not a political party issue. This is a national issue. And I think all Liberians so far, most Liberians are very united on this. No one has pushed anything for religious war here. So I think we can see clearly that there is, Liberians are tired of those kind of stereotyping. And so we will be very, very grateful for the president to use all of the available resources available to him so that we can resolve this quickly so that it doesn't take time of his leadership. You know, Ellen's leadership was plagued with Ebola. The We Are Own was plagued with the COVID-19. And those things take away from regular national developmental agenda. So you want to thank God this is man-made. He can quickly resolve this and then move on with his arrest agenda. And that's what we're talking about.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Thanks to all of you. We appreciate your time. Have a good night. Yep. Thanks to you, Dr. George. As always, it's good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Thanks to you, my brother J. Jefferson Chesson. It's good to see you, brother Chesson. And at the corner, ever immigrate. Thank you a lot. We appreciate your time here on Spoon. So we'll meet again tomorrow on Fabric FM, Super FM, and Spoon FM, Fabric TV, Super TV, and Spoon TV. I want to say thanks to all of you for joining us. It's been a great show today. We discussed the Tweh issue. We discussed the Yeket issue, the border issue. We discussed what else. You can go over the program. We had a great discussion today. LPRC, I couldn't get to it again today, but we'll make it our first topic tomorrow. So we'll meet again. May God bless you, may God keep you, and may God save Liberia and bless this United States as well. We always appreciate you spending time with us. You're always welcome to share the show. You're always welcome to follow us on Facebook, like us, follow us on all of our social media outlets, and let's be together for a better Liberia. So till we meet again, God bless you. Have a good night.